皆さん、こんにちは。あつこです。Hello everyone, I'm Atsuko. I'm a Japanese teacher living in Bangkok, Thailand. Thank you for coming to my lesson. Hola, soy Atsuko. No soy Atsuko, sino Atsuko. Bienvenido a mi clase de japonés. Today, I introduce how to say I like or I don't like and some useful grammar related to this topic. Okay. So first, let's check the vocabulary we use today. Look at the picture. Okay. There are some foods and drinks. Some of the words are you already know. Some of them are very famous Japanese food, and some of them are from English words. So let's check the vocabulary. Repeat after me. Sushi, sushi. Tempura, tempura. Ramen, ramen. チョコレート、チョコレート。コーヒー、コーヒー。刺身、刺身。お好み焼き、お好み焼き。ケーキ、ケーキ。アイスクリーム、アイスクリーム。紅茶、紅茶。パエリア、パエリア。ピザ、ピザ。パスタ、パスタ。ワイン、ワイン。お酒、お酒。酒 is normal. お酒 is politer than 酒 or is politeness maker. Last one, ビール、ビール。Okay. 寿司。I like 寿司。私は寿司が好きです。私は寿司が好きです。私 means I. What is topic maker? Now I'm talking about myself, so 私 is topic. Noun is 寿司 and add が after the noun. 好きです means like. So I like sushi is 私は寿司が好きです。Okay, repeat after me. 私は寿司が好きです。Okay, then how about I like 天ぷら I like 天ぷら。私は天ぷらが好きです。私は天ぷらが好きです。I like ラーメン。Can you make the sentence? 私はラーメンが好きです。Okay, then how about I like chocolate. I like chocolate. 私はチョコレートが好きです。I like coffee. 私はコーヒーが好きです。Okay, then please write a sentence about what you like. Use this structure. Choose one noun and write on the chat, please. What do you like? 天ぷら。エティエンさん、do you like 天ぷら？ Okay. Please make a sentence and write on the chat. 私は What do you like? アルバロさん Do you like paella? Then you can say 私はパエリアが好きです。ね。私はピザが好きです。nice, nice. OK です。はい。じゃあ、next. What if I don't like, I don't like sashimi. I don't like sashimi. Of course, it's a fiction. I don't like. Negative form is 私は刺身が好きじゃありません。アルバロさん、私は魚サンドイッチが好きです。魚サンドイッチ。You mean tuna sand? 魚サンドイッチ。そうですか。はい。Negative form is 好きじゃありません。じゃありません is negative form of です。です。It looks very different, but negative form of です is じゃありません。です。Okay, then please make a sentence. I don't like お好み焼き。I don't like お好み焼き。私はお好み焼きが好きじゃありません。How about I don't like cake? I don't like cake. 私はケーキが好きじゃありません。Then, I don't like ice cream. How do you say in Japanese? 私はアイスクリームが好きじゃありません。Okay. Oh, let me check chat message. 私は肉が好きじゃありません。Oh, Sylvia さん wrote in 漢字。It's perfect. 漢字 and ひらがな。Nice. 私はコーヒーが好きじゃありません。そうですか。Thank you for the comment. Okay. Then, when I like sushi a lot, there's adverb. Adverb is 私は寿司がとても好きです。とても好きです。I like sushi a lot. とても is adverb. Okay? And we can also say 私は寿司が大好きです。大好きです。大好きです sounds more casual than とても好きです。ね。はい。エティエンさん、there are other inputs in the italki chat. そうです、そうです。はい。はい。じゃあ、please make a sentence. I like paella a lot. I like paella a lot. 私はパエリアがとても好きです。or 私はパエリアが大好きです。ね。はい。で、there's a remark. Adverb とても and 大好き can't be used together. 私は寿司がとても大好きです is not correct. Okay? So, do you know Doraemon song? Doraemon. I put the picture of Doraemon here. In the Doraemon song, 私はパエリアが大好きです。皆さん、私もです。美味しいですね。はい。In the Doraemon song, we can hear, とっても大好き。ドラえもん。とっても大好き。It's actually grammatically not correct. But this is anime song, so it's okay. But I don't recommend you to use とても and 大好き together. Okay? はい。Next, if I don't like sushi so much, not so much is あまり好きじゃありません。あまり好きじゃありません。Okay? When we use あまり, the conjugation is always negative form. あまり好きじゃありません。Then, how about I don't like coffee so much. I don't like coffee so much. Can you make a sentence? コーヒー。私はコーヒーがあまり 好きじゃありません。私はコーヒーがあまり好きじゃありません。Then, I don't like sushi at all. Of course, this is fiction. I don't like sushi at all. Not at all is 全然. Adverb is 全然。私は寿司が全然好きじゃありません。When we use 全然, conjugation is always negative. あまり and 全然 takes negative form ですね。はい。じゃあ、好きじゃありません。Negative form of 好きです。It's soft. There is a very straight expression. 嫌いです。嫌いです。I hate. I hate. Very strong and straight. For example, I hate 酒. I hate 酒. 私は酒が嫌いです。Very straight. And when we want to emphasize 嫌い more, add 大 before 嫌い。大嫌いです。I really hate 大嫌いです。Very strong. Okay, these are adverbs. Okay. Then, じゃあ、私は寿司が好きです。私は寿司が好きです。私は天ぷらが好きです。I want to say both. 私は寿司が好きです。天ぷらも好きです。私は寿司が好きです。天ぷらも好きです。Noun 1 is 寿司。Noun 2 is 天ぷら。And in the second sentence, が is changed into も。も means also, too ですね。はい。じゃあ please repeat two sentences each. 寿司 and 天ぷら。私は寿司が好きです。天ぷらも好きです。Then please make a sentence about, okay, pizza and pasta. I like pizza. I like pasta too. ピザ、パスタです。Can you make the sentence? Okay, first sentence is 私はピザが好きです。Second sentence 私はパスタも好きです。Then, アルバロさん、ピザが好きです。パスタも好きです。私もです。Then how about wine and beer? Wine and beer. Wine, beer. Okay. 私はワインが好きです。ビールも好きです。Okay, then how about coffee and tea? Coffee and tea. Coffee is コーヒー。Tea is 紅茶。Okay, 私はコーヒーが好きです。紅茶も好きです。Okay, then these two sentences can put into one sentence. It can be combined into one sentence. So let's practice. Noun 1 is じゃ寿司 and 天ぷら。私は寿司と天ぷらが好きです。This is one sentence. Okay, repeat after me. 私は寿司と天ぷらが好きです。Okay. A と B means A and B. But this と is not same with and in English. In English, and can be used to connect noun and noun, verb and verb, adjective and adjective, like come and go, cool and pretty. But in Japanese, と can connect only noun and noun. Okay. 皆さん、私はピザが好きです。寿司も好きです。perfect です。はい。Then let's practice this structure. Okay, then noun one is, じゃあチョコレート、アイスクリーム、チョコレート、アイスクリーム。Okay, one sentence です。チョコレート、アイスクリーム。はい。私はチョコレートとアイスクリームが好きです。Okay? はい。じゃあ、ピザ and パスタ。ピザ and パスタ。私はピザとパスタが好きです。Okay? Wine and beer. Wine and beer. 私はワインとビールが好きです。Okay? はい。じゃあ、next. じゃあ、questions. Do you like sushi? Do you like sushi? あ、皆さんコメントありがとうございます。テオドラさん、私はピザとパスタが好きです。OK。あ、ピザ、パスタ very popular ですね。はい。はい、じゃあ question です。Do you like sushi? Do you like sushi? 寿司が好きですか？寿司が好きですか？ Just add か in the end of the sentence and intonation is up. This is a question form. Okay? じゃあ please repeat after me. Do you like sushi? 寿司が好きですか？ Then how about do you like ramen? ラーメンが好きですか？ Do you like pizza? ピザが好きですか？ Okay, then let's check the answer. Sylvia さん asked me, 寿司が好きですか？ And I want to answer, yes, 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 yes. はい、好きです。はい、好きです。And we can add adverb, what we learned to. はい、とても好きです。はい、大好きです。Okay. Then if answer is no, no, I don't. いいえ、好きじゃありません。ネガティブフォームです。いいえ、好きじゃありません。Okay? Then I ask you questions, so please answer in Japanese. Okay? じゃあ、天ぷらが好きですか？じゃあ、お酒が好きですか？私はあまり好きじゃありません。じゃあ、ビールが好きですか？ My answer is はい、大好きです。じゃあ、パエリアが好きですか？はい、好きです。あ、皆さん好きです。私も大好きです。はい、OK です。じゃあ、天ぷら。皆さん、天ぷらがあまり好きじゃありません。そうですか。ちょっとオイリーですね。はい。じゃあ、皆さん、たくさんコメントありがとうございます。ビールが好きじゃありません。そうですか。はい。This structure, this sentence pattern can be used not only for food and drink. Another example. はい。Movie. Do you like movie? I like movie. I like movie. 私は映画が好きです。Okay, repeat after me. I like movies. 私は映画が好きです。Next, sports. Sports. I like sports. 私はスポーツが好きです。I like to sing. 私は歌が好きです。I like to dance. 私はダンスが好きです。I like traveling. 私は旅行が好きです。I like books. 私は本が好きです。I like cooking. 私は料理が好きです。I like to study. 私は勉強が好きです。I like to work. 私は仕事が好きです。I like Japan. 私は日本が好きです。Okay, then I ask you question. じゃあ、映画が好きですか？皆さんは映画が好きですか？ My answer is はい、好きです。はい、とても好きです。じゃあ皆さんは、スポーツが好きですか？うん、好きです。そうですか。ありがとうございます。はい。じゃあ、勉強が好きですか？勉強が好きですか？あ、皆さん漢字がわかりますね。Great。漢字パーフェクトです。スポーツが好きです。はい。フルーツさん、こんにちは。はい。勉強が好きですか？勉強が好きですか？私は勉強が好きですよ。じゃあ、日本語の勉強が好きですか？日本語の勉強が好きですか？皆さんは、はい、大好きです。ですか？じゃあ、仕事が好きですか？仕事が好きですか？あ、勉強が好きです。皆さん、いいです。仕事が好きですか？私は仕事が大好きです。勉強が好きです。仕事も好きです。はい、じゃあ、this one is most curious. 皆さんは日本が好きですか？はい、大好きです。ですか？はい、じゃあ、next。よいしょ。はい。じゃあ、マンゴーです。マンゴー。マンゴー。私はマンゴーが好きです。マンゴーが大好きです。What's right side? It's durian. Durian. 私はドリアンが好きじゃありません。あ、シルビアさん、日本が好きです。ありがとうございます。はい。私はマンゴーが好きです。ドリアンが好きじゃありません。好きです。好きじゃありません。コントラストです。In this case, we say マンゴーは好きですが、ドリアンは好きじゃありません。This is one sentence. Very long. Okay, then repeat please. マンゴーは好きですが、ドリアンは好きじゃありません。This word is word for contrast. For contrast. When I say only I like mango. 私はマンゴーが好きです。I don't like durian. 私はドリアンが好きじゃありません。But when I want to say the contrast, マンゴーは好きですが、ドリアンは好きじゃありません。We use the particle は。Okay? Another example. 私はビールが好きです。私はワインが好きじゃありません。Okay? 私はビールは好きですが、ワインは好きじゃありません。は、コントラストです。Okay? Okay, please repeat after me. ビールは好きですが、ワインは好きじゃありません。 はい。Then next one, please make sentence by yourself. Okay. Left side is rock and roll, rock, 好きです。Right side is jazz, rock, jazz. Okay. Can you make a sentence? Let's check. ロックは好きですが、ジャズは好きじゃありません。Okay, repeat after me. ロックは好きですが、ジャズは好きじゃありません。Okay. Next example. Please make a sentence. Hi, do you know how to say cat in Japanese? Cat. 猫です。猫。And dog is 犬。猫。好きです。犬。好きじゃありません。コントラストです。Please make sentence. Everyone knows 猫. It's very famous word. 猫。シルビアさん knows a lot of 漢字。はい、じゃあ let's check the sentence. 猫は好きですが、犬は好きじゃありません。Okay, please repeat after me. 猫は好きですが、犬は好きじゃありません。Okay. Hi, do anyone write sentence of this contrast using は Can anyone make sentence of contrast? I like this, but I don't like this. Another example. 私はビールは好きですが、お酒は好きじゃありません。お酒、日本のお酒、I don't drink 酒。ビールは好きですが、お酒は好きじゃありません。はい。じゃあ、next。よいしょ。はい。シルビアさん。猫は好きですが、犬は好きじゃありません。me too. 私もです。はい。はい。じゃあ、日本料理です。日本、ジャパン。料理はクイズンです。Japanese cuisine。日本料理。皆さんコメントありがとうございます。アルバさん。私はラーメンは好きですが、焼き鳥は好きじゃありません。OK です。perfect です。Nice. It's quite long sentence. OK。はい。じゃあ、日本料理、Japanese cuisine ですね。はい。じゃあ、let's check the vocabulary. Repeat after me. はい。寿司、天ぷら、ラーメン、すき焼き、刺身、お好み焼き、うどん、焼き鳥、しゃぶしゃぶ、カツ丼、牛丼。Okay. はい。じゃあ皆さんは寿司が好きですか？刺身が好きですか？ラーメンが好きですか？しゃぶしゃぶが好きですか？ What is number one? Number one. じゃあ my number one is じゃあ刺身。I like 刺身 the most. The most はカテゴリーでナウンが一番好きです。Now category is 日本料理 Japanese cuisine 日本料理でナウン in my case 刺身が 一番好きです。日本料理で刺身が一番好きです。一番 means number one。ね。はい。あ、フルーツフライさんは all the food 全部好きです。全部好きです。そうですか。It's very hard to choose only one ですね。I know, I understand. はい。Okay. じゃあ please、repeat after me. I like sashimi the most in Japanese cuisine. 日本料理で刺身が一番好きです。Then how about I like ramen the most. I like ramen the most in Japanese cuisine. Ramen. Can you make a sentence? 日本料理でラーメンが一番好きです。Then how about じゃあすき焼き the most すき焼き。日本料理ですき焼きが一番好きです。好きです。はい。日本料理でアルバさん、ラーメンが一番好きです。あ、そうですか。アルバさん、not 日本語、日本料理ね。Japanese cuisine。日本料理でラーメンが一番好きです。OK です。はい。じゃあ、let's check the category. シルビアさんは日本料理で刺身が一番好きです。そうですか。私もです。はい、just change the category. スペイン料理。Spanish cuisine です。はい。じゃあ、let's check the vocabulary repeat after me. It's very weird. I have to show the Japanglish. カタカナ、Spanish. That's very weird. はい。パエリア。生ハム。オムレツ。ガスパチョ。アヒージョ。フィデウア。コロッケ。ポテトサラダ。ポテトはポテト。サラダですね。はい。じゃあ、カテゴリー。スペイン料理です。スペイン料理。私のナンバーワンはアヒージョかな。アヒージョ。So, in my case, スペイン料理でアヒージョが一番好きです。スペイン料理でアヒージョが一番好きです。Okay? Then, what if I like paella the most in Spanish cuisine? How do you say? スペイン料理でパエリアが一番好きです。Then, how about 生ハム。ハモンセラーノですね。スペイン料理で生ハムが一番好きです。Okay? Okay, the next category. Before going to the next, what's your number one? スペイン料理で What's your number one? Please make sentence and write on the chat, please. アルバロさん、スペイン料理でチュロスが一番好きです。チュロスはお菓子ですね。お菓子、not 料理です。チュロス is not cuisine。でもチュロスは美味しいですね。私もチュロスが好きです。OK。はい。じゃあ、next。カテゴリーは飲み物です。飲み物。What's 飲み物？飲み物は beverage drinks ですね。はい。じゃあ、let's check the vocabulary。皆さんコメントありがとうございます。スペイン料理でガスパチョが一番好きです。ガスパチョ美味しいですね。とても美味しいですね。はい。じゃあ、飲み物、ボキャブラリーです。Please repeat after me. ワイン、お酒、ビール、 ウイスキー、牛乳、コーヒー、紅茶、緑茶、ジュース、コーラ。In Japanese language, juice is different from juice in English. Juice includes any kinds of non-alcoholic soft drink. In English, juice is 100% fruit, fresh fruit ですね。日本語のジュースは any kinds of soft drink です。はい。シルビアさん、スペイン料理でフィデウアが一番好きです。フィデウアが一番好きです。フィデウア美味しいですね。I have a Spanish friend living near my house. He's very good cook. He often cooks me good fideuà. はい。じゃあ、let's practice with vocabulary of 飲み物。飲み物ね。Category is 飲み物。Okay? じゃあ、I like coffee the most in drinks. I like coffee the most. 飲み物でコーヒーが一番好きです。飲み物でコーヒーが一番好きです。Okay? Then how about I like wine the most. I like wine the most in beverages. Can you make a sentence? 飲み物でワインが一番好きです。飲み物でワインが一番好きです。あ、にゃにゃににちゃんさん。Question: What is the difference between 紅茶 and 緑茶？紅茶 is black tea. Black tea です。緑茶、緑 means green. So green tea です。Green tea. はい。テオドラさん。飲み物でワインが一番好きです。そうですか。はい。はい。じゃあ、please make sentence. I like, じゃあ、I like, じゃあ、ウイスキー。I like whiskey the most in beverage. Okay? ウイスキー。飲み物で、ウイスキーが一番好きです。Okay? はい。にゃんにゃんににちゃんさん、どういたしまして。はい。はい、じゃあ、how about you? 飲み物で、can you make sentence? What's your number one? 飲み物で、noun が一番好きです。Can you make a sentence? Write on the chat, please. はい、皆さんのナンバーワンは何ですか？シルビアさん、ワイン。テオドラさんもワイン。リンゴジュース。はい。アップルジュースですね。ワイン。オレンジジュース。はい。コーラ。はい。OK です。Don't drink too much ね。フルーツフライさん。はい。OK です。じゃあ、let's change the category. はい。果物、fruit です。fruit。OK? fruit. I like mango the most. I like mango the most. ね、カテゴリーは果物です。So, in my case, 果物でマンゴーが一番好きです。Okay? はい、じゃあ、sorry, I forgot to check the vocabulary. Let's check the vocabulary of fruit, 果物。よいしょ。Please repeat after me. Some words are from English, but some words, some fruit has Japanese word. Okay? Repeat after me. オレンジ、バナナ、マンゴー、キウイ、いちご。いちご is not from English ですね。はい。メロン。When I went to Spain for the first time, I saw a dessert menu and there is a word melocotón. Melocotón. I thought it was melon, but actually it was peach. メロン。ね。はい。メロン。はい。Next, apple. リンゴ。桃。what a cute name. パイナップル。梨。ぶどう。Okay, then let's make a sentence. じゃあ what if I like orange the most in fruits? Okay, category is 果物、fruits. Number one is オレンジです。Okay, let's make a sentence. 果物でオレンジが一番好きです。で、repeat after me. 果物でオレンジが一番好きです。Then what is number one is 桃。I like peach the most. Can you make a sentence? 果物で桃が一番好きです。果物で桃が一番好きです。はい。シルビアさんは果物でオレンジが一番好きです。シルビアさん、you know a lot of 漢字ですね。果物。オレンジ、美味しいですね。I bought orange today. はい。じゃあ、what if number one is じゃあ、梨はペアですね。果物で梨が一番好きです。はい。じゃあ、let's change the category. はい。にゃーにゃーににちゃんさんは果物で梨が一番好きです。はい。do you know in Japan, we have, 梨 like this picture, 梨 like this picture, and also we have Japanese nashi. It's not long, it's round. It has completely different tastes. So you should try. Western nashi is delicious too, but Japanese nashi is also delicious. They are completely different tastes. I recommend you to try. 日本の梨。はい。じゃあ、スポーツです。カテゴリーはスポーツです。はい。じゃあ、let's check the vocabulary. Repeat after me. サッカー、テニス、バレーボール、バスケットボール、ゴルフ、水泳、マラソン、バドミントン。はい、じゃあ日本のスポーツです。柔道、空手。はい、じゃあ let's make sentence. I like swimming the most in sports. I like swimming the most. カテゴリーはスポーツ。swimming は水泳ですね。はい、じゃあ let's make sentence. In my case, スポーツで水泳が一番好きです。Okay, repeat after me. スポーツで水泳が一番好きです。Then what if number one is soccer? Number one is soccer. スポーツでサッカーが一番好きです。 Then what if number one is, the number one is 空手。スポーツで空手が一番好きです。Then number one is, okay, long one. バスケットボール。It's long. スポーツでバスケットボールが一番好きです。Okay, basketball is very long, so we use abbreviation in the casual situation. Abbreviation is バスケ。スポーツでバスケが一番好きです。OK です。はい。じゃあ、next. じゃあ、question. じゃあ、日本料理 again. カテゴリーは日本料理です。じゃあ、寿司が好きですか？天ぷらが好きですか？ラーメンが好きですか？ What is number one? Question です。Question は、カテゴリーで、何が一番好きですか？何が一番好きですか？ Okay. When the category is Japanese cuisine, question is 日本料理で何が一番好きですか？ Okay. Okay, then let's check the answer. 日本料理で何が一番好きですか？in my case, 刺身が一番好きです。はい。じゃあ皆さんは日本料理で何が一番好きですか？皆さんは日本料理で何が一番好きですか？皆さんは刺身ですか？ラーメンかな？ラーメンポピュラー。ラーメン most popular かな？はい。じゃあ next question です。じゃあカテゴリー is スペイン料理。じゃあ please make question. What do you like the most in Spanish cuisine? What do you like the most in Spanish cuisine? Can you make a question? 日本料理で寿司が一番好きです。寿司 is very famous. ね。はい。じゃあカテゴリースペイン料理です。Question is スペイン料理で何が一番好きですか？はい。皆さんはスペイン料理で何が一番好きですか？ Oh, it's really difficult to choose. Actually, I ate Spanish food last night with my friend. スペイン料理で何が一番好きですか？ Okay, perfect です。はい。じゃあ、what's your answer? 私はアヒージョが一番好きです。アヒージョ。皆さんはスペイン料理で何が一番好きですか？ガスパチョパエリアかな？フィデウア。セルビアさんフィデウアが一番好きですね。はい。そうそう。料理のスペリングが、料理のスペリングはね、スモールヨですね。スモールヨ。料理、スモールヨです。で、ロングワイル、料理ですね。料理。はい。ロングバイル、ひらがな、ですね。料理。はい。じゃあ、next question. What do you like the most in beverage? What What's the question? What do you like the most in beverage? Okay, can you make a question? はい。飲み物で何が一番好きですかですね。飲み物で何が一番好きですか ?And the answer is like ビールが一番好きです。ワインが一番好きです。like that. はい。飲み物で何が一番好きですかはい。にゃにゃににちゃんさん、パーフェクトです。はい。じゃあ、what do you like the most in fruits? What do you like the most in fruits? Question は、カテゴリー、フルーツは果物ですね。果物で何が一番好きですか果物で何が一番好きですかアンサーは、私はマンゴーが一番好きです。Okay, the last example. What do you like the most in sports? What do you like the most in sports? カテゴリーはスポーツです。スポーツで何が一番好きですかスポーツで何が一番好きですか私のアンサーはね、水泳が一番好きです。Okay? はい、皆さんはスポーツで何が一番好きですかはい。じゃあ、next. じゃあ、let's study adjectives. Adjectives in Japanese. Okay, here are some basic adjectives in Japanese. So please repeat after me. はい。はい。expensive. 高い。高い。inexpensive. 安い。安い。あ、にゃんにゃさん、ダンスが一番好きです。ダンス。私もダンスが好きです。はい。ありがとうございます。はい。じゃあ次。はい。高い。高い。high or tall ですね。look at expensive and high, tall. We use same adjective for expensive and high, tall. And same 漢字 too. ですね。はい。高い。short, low. 低い。低い。fast, rapid. 速い。速い。slow. 遅い。遅い。interesting. 面白い。面白い。boring. つまらない。つまらない。quiet, calm. 静か。静か。lively. にぎやか。にぎやか。difficult. 難しい。難しい。easy. 簡単。簡単。famous. 有名。有名。And next one has two meanings. Beautiful or clean. Beautiful or clean. きれい。きれい。kind. 親切。親切。かっこいい。かっこいい。ハンサム。ハンサム。おいしい。delicious. おいしい。Okay, then let's make adjective sentence using this vocabulary. はい。じゃあ、there are many topics ね。じゃあ、let's make sentence about 寿司、寿司。寿司、what's the good adjective for 寿司？寿司、高い、高い。きれい。おいしい。etc. ですね。じゃあ、寿司、おいしい。寿司、おいしい。寿司 is delicious. In Japanese, 寿司は 美味しいです。寿司は美味しいです。トピックは adjective です。寿司は美味しいです。Then how about sushi is expensive? Sushi is expensive. 寿司は高いです。寿司は高いです。じゃあ、let's change the topic. 東京、東京。Which adjectives can we use to describe Tokyo? はい、美味しい。美味しいですね。寿司は高いです。うん、美味しいです。高いです。東京は、じゃあ、例えば、賑やか。いいですね。東京、賑やか。面白い。賑やか。面白い。はい。じゃあ、東京は賑やかです。東京は賑やかです。東京は面白いです。はい。賑やかです。はい。あ、シルビアさん、寿司は高いです。うん、漢字、ペルフェクトです。はい。東京は賑やかです。東京は面白いです。じゃあ、how about 富士山。富士山。What adjective can we use for 富士山？高い。高いですね。富士山は高いです。富士山は高いです。and famous もいいですね。famous。富士山 is famous。富士山は有名です。富士山は有名です。はい。じゃあ、パーソンしましょうか。パーソン。フェルナンドさん。フェルナンドさん。que guapo。はい。ハンサム。かっこいい。フェルナンドさんはハンサムです。フェルナンドさんはかっこいいです。フェルナンドさんは famous。フェルナンドさんは有名です。Okay? はい。Then、じゃあ皆さんのコメント、寿司、なんだ、富士山高い。じゃあ富士山高い。綺麗。I want to say both. 富士山は高いです。綺麗です。高いです。綺麗です。I want to say both. 富士山は高いです。そして、綺麗です。富士山は高いです。そして、綺麗です。Okay? そして is connector、ね。じゃあ、東京 is interesting, and lively, 面白い and lively, 賑やか。Let's make two sentences. 面白い、賑やか。東京は面白いです。そして、賑やかです。Okay? はい。じゃあ、寿司、じゃあ、美味しい、綺麗、美味しい、綺麗。寿司は美味しいです。そして、綺麗です。ね。はい。じゃあ、寿司は美味しいです。but 高いです。美味しいです。高いです。美味しい。ポジティブインプレッション。高いです。ちょっとネガティブインプレッションですね。In that case, we use 寿司は美味しいです。でも高いです。でも means but. or 寿司は美味しいですが高いです。が is also means but. But when we use でも sentences are two sentences. When we use が is connector of two sentences. This is one sentence. Okay? 寿司は美味しいですが高いです。one sentence です。Okay? はい。でも sounds more casual than がです。Then how about 寿司は美味しいです。でも高いです。寿司は高いです。でも美味しいです。The order switch, is it same? It's not same. The total impression of the sentence is depend on the second adjective です。Okay. はい。じゃあ、that's all for today. Hi, thank you for coming to my class. If you want to study Japanese more, visit the website of italki and you'll find good teacher for you. There are many nice teachers on the italki website. どうもありがとうございました。じゃあ皆さん、さようなら。またね。
Ha intentado estudiar por su cuenta con libros, tarjetas de vocabulario y aplicaciones móviles, pero sigue teniendo problemas para hablar. Esta es María. Le encanta aprender inglés, pero no tiene oportunidades para ponerlo en práctica. Con italki, Peter y María pueden recibir clases personales online para hablar con fluidez en otro idioma. Tú también puedes aprender un idioma en italki. Empieza hoy en 3 simples pasos. Primero, elige un idioma: inglés, alemán, chino, francés, japonés. Italki tiene profesores para cualquier idioma. Segundo, escoge un profesor. Con Italki puedes escoger entre miles de profesores con experiencia de todo el mundo. Tercero, elige el horario de tu lección. Las clases de idiomas online son el mejor método para aprender con profesores nativos. Con Italki tendrás un profesor de idiomas personal y conversaciones reales con hablantes nativos. Cada día miles de personas aprenden con profesores internacionales a través de Italki. Encuentra un profesor hoy y domina el idioma de tu lección.
Hi everyone, it's Vicente and I teach Spanish on italki.com. And today we will be talking about 3 grammar rules to follow when you start learning Spanish. The first one is that, as you have already heard, Spanish verbs are always conjugated. That means that they have to match with the subject of the sentence. For example, there are different pronouns in Spanish. Yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, nosotras, vosotros, vosotras, and ellos, ellas, y ustedes. All these pronouns have their own conjugations, and it's very common for beginners to mix them up. So remember this. When you start to conjugate the verbs, they have to match. The second rule is very important as well. The Spanish nouns and adjectives has to be in the same level. Let me explain you this. If you have a noun that is feminine, plural, for example, las mujeres, the adjective that you have to use right after the noun has to be feminine, plural as well. For example, las mujeres españolas. Same with the articles las, female and plural. We use this article because, as I say, it's female plural. The third rule I already mentioned before, and be careful, English speakers, because the adjectives in Spanish go after the noun, not before like in English. This is very common for students that learn Spanish and already speak or know English. When I say it, las mujeres españolas, españolas is the adjective, and I put it after las mujeres. In English, it would be the Spanish woman, but not in Spanish. Okay, there are some occasions where the adjectives go before the nouns. That is true, but normally this use comes out at intermediate level or advanced. Do not worry when you are a beginner. Thanks for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the italki YouTube channel here. Take a lesson with me on italki.com by clicking on my teacher profile link in the description. Hasta luego! Hi everyone, it's Vicente and I teach Spanish on italki.com. And today I will be talking about 7 Spanish words that are similar to their English counterpart. These words are also known as cognates. What a cognate is? A cognate is a word that has the same linguistic derivation that another word, and it looks similar, and when you pronounce it, it sounds almost the same. And here I will give you 7 cognates so you can use them in Spanish as well. The first one is alcohol in Spanish. Guess you know what it means, because it sounds pretty similar than in English, doesn't it? Number 2 is conclusión. This one has a different pronunciation in Spanish, but you will understand definitely when you start learning Spanish. Number 3, hobby. This one is completely similar. We basically took this word from English. Number 4, individual. Of course, it's the same word, just different pronunciation. The next one, number 5, is piercing. Yes, we use this word with the same pronunciation and meaning. Next one, number 6, is informal. I like to use this one in my lessons to explain ways to greet and say goodbye because it's similar in English and is a word that students understand very quickly. And the last are some words related to sports. If you're learning Spanish and you like sports, you're lucky because most of the words are cognates like football, tennis, baseball, volleyball, hockey, water polo, golf, surf, and so on. As you can see, almost all sports are cognates. So, talking about your hobbies should not be difficult. As you can see, there are many, and I would like to remember you that there are hundreds of cognates, and if you check them, you can be ready to your first Spanish lesson. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the italki YouTube channel for more tips on learning Spanish. Take a lesson with me on italki by clicking on my teacher link in the description. Hasta luego.
Hi everyone, it's Caroline here and I teach English on italki. Today I am going to be talking about business idioms or idioms you might hear in your office or in your workplace. A student asked me a really good question the other day. He asked me whether, because I'm a native English speaker, do I know every single idiom? And the answer is no. Are phrases or expressions that come from a particular place or a particular age group. So idioms are different in the UK to idioms in the United States. I have chosen 5 business idioms to talk to you about today, and you may hear them in an office in the UK or in the States. So hopefully they will be useful for you. Idiom number 1 is the big picture. Imagine you go into a meeting and your boss says to you, you've lost sight of the big picture. What does that mean? That means that you are thinking too much about the small details of the project, and you are so interested in those little details that you don't remember what it is you're trying to achieve. So always keep sight of the big picture. The second idiom is to go the extra mile. Now imagine you're in an interview and the interviewer says to you that they are looking for someone who always goes the extra mile. What does that mean? Does it mean they want you to run around the office every day? No, it means they want you to do more than just what is in the job description. They want you to go that little bit further and to take on extra responsibility. That is going the extra mile. The third idiom is a win-win situation. A win-win situation means everybody does something. A really good example of this is these videos that I'm making for italki. italki gains some content for their website, some lessons for their learners, and I have a platform where students can see me and book lessons with me. It's a win-win. italki wins and Caroline wins. The fourth idiom is word of mouth. So an example of this is, think about how you found out about italki. Did you find italki by searching on Google, or did you find italki because one of your friends recommended it to you? Recommendations from friends are word of mouth. It can be positive or it can be negative. If your company gets bad word of mouth, it is going to be a very difficult time for your company because people really listen to the opinions of their friends. So make sure whatever you do, you have good word of mouth about it. The fifth and final business idiom is to touch base. My manager used to say this to me a lot. To touch base means to have a very quick and short meeting about a project or something that you are working on. It might only be 5 minutes of your time, but in that time you will check that your understanding of the project is the same as your manager's understanding of the project. So I have a challenge for you. In your next lesson, I want you to ask your teacher if you can touch base about what you have learned in your lessons so far. This could be 5 minutes at the end of the lesson where you review all of the different subjects that you have been studying. You're touching base about the things you have covered so far. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to italki by clicking somewhere. And you can take a lesson with me by clicking on my teacher profile in the description box. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.
Welcome back to the Stop Being Boring When Speaking English video series. When speaking to native English speakers, it's useful to use a variety of vocabulary to make your conversation sound more interesting and flow. Why not spice up your language a little bit and impress others with your speaking abilities? In this next video, we will take a look at some American and British slang.
Number 1, American. John Hancock.
John Hancock.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a person,
It's the name of a person, yes.
and it's American slang.
Mm-hmm. What do you think it means?
I just got John Hancock. Does it mean like wasted?
Certainly not.
Give me an example.
Okay, so can I please have your John Hancock at the bottom of this paper? Come on, you gotta get it
Is
now.
it your signature?
Yes, you got it! That was easy.
Okay, awesome. Number 1, British. Peak. What does peak mean?
Like, taking a peek.
No, that's
Sorry, that's not taking a peek.
that's slang.
This is taking a peek.
But that's just like taking a peek. That's not slang.
Oh,
Like in a slang
like the
context.
peak. Like the peak of a mountain? That's not slang. That's actually
Yeah, that is the peak of a mountain.
I don't know. Tell me.
Okay, let me give you an example. So say you go out one night and you lose your purse, your keys.
Is it like the most horrible situation you can be in?
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like, that's so peak. You'd be like, oh, yeah. How was your night? It was so peak.
I just got fired. That's so peak.
Exactly.
Cool.
So it's like the peak of badness, I guess.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the peak.
2, American. Jacked.
Jacked. Does that mean like hench?
What is henchman?
Like say you go to the gym.
Don't answer back with a slang word.
So the British equivalent of jacked would be hench, I think. So if someone's like really ripped.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So hench.
Go to the gym, work out a
They're
lot.
like, whoa, look at him, he's so jacked.
We would say hench. Number 2, British. Peng. Peng.
Pang.
Peng. P-E-N-G. Peng.
Like someone being hanged on the head with something? Or
Just
just thinking of bang and pang kind of similar, I don't know.
I guess it's a little similar. No.
Give me an example.
Okay, so for example, say you're eating a cake, it's delicious. You can say, oh, this is peng.
Does it just mean delicious?
You could use it in other contexts as
Does it mean
well.
like it hits the spot? You know?
Yeah, but I could also say that your eyes are peng, or a person is peng.
Just mean like extraordinarily awesome?
Basically,
Oh,
if you're talking about a person, you might even say peng-ting,
Painting.
like he's a peng-ting.
Okay.
This is mostly
So
London.
then he's like a 10.
Yeah, exactly.
So like the top of top.
Yeah, basically.
Number 3, American. I blew it.
I blew it.
I blew it.
What a nightmare. I blew it.
Yeah.
So that means that you've completely ruined the situation.
Hello, everybody. I'm Yemi. Welcome to italki's live classes. Okay. So like I said, my name is Yemi. Please write your name and where you're from in the comments. Okay. So I'm originally from Barbados and now I live in Japan. Okay. So we're going to be talking about culture today. We're going to be talking about culture, so that will actually be very relevant to today's lesson because we're going to look both at Japanese culture and Barbadian culture and at your culture as well. Okay, so just drop a line in the comments. Let me know your name. Where are you from? Okay, All right, so let's get started. First, we're going to look, I'm just going to share my screen, and we're going to look at some things we might talk about when we look at culture, okay? All right. Okay, so here we are. Share your culture, okay? So why might we need to share our culture? Why might we need to share our culture? There are several different situations. For me, for example, I live in a different country. So a lot of people ask me quite often about my culture, okay? Um, Also, you might want to share your culture if you have a foreign friend, okay? You're in your own country, but your friends are from a different country. They ask you about something, okay? You might have to, let's go down a little and see some things. You might have to present your culture, okay? For example, if you're a university student, you might have to present your culture in an actual presentation, like a PowerPoint, telling other people about your country, okay? You might also have to talk about your culture for business. So if the businessman comes from a different country to your country, they might ask you about some things that they can do, what they can't do, what they can talk about, what they shouldn't talk about, um, where they should go in the evening. Okay, so you might have to talk about culture at work as well. Okay. And sometimes there are just some random situations, like you're sitting in a bar and the person next to you says, "Where are you from?" You know, you're traveling, you're in the US, you're in England, you're in Australia, you're in Barbados, and someone says to you, "Oh, where are you from?" And you say, "I'm from a tiny town in the south of Italy." And they ask you about your town. Okay. So these are some reasons you might want to talk about your culture. Okay. So please feel free to drop a line. Let me know, where are you from? Okay. Where are you from? Okay. And we can talk about our cultures. Okay. All right. So let's look at making a general introduction of your country or your city. Okay. How do we make a general introduction of a country or a city? Well, here are four things I think you might want to consider. Okay. First of all, what do people know about your country or city? Okay. If they already know certain things, you can build on that. You can expand on that. Okay. Consider what they don't know. Okay. If people knew this, they might feel really surprised. Okay. So consider what you think that people don't know as well. Okay. And also think about what's important. This is really, I really want to let people know this about my country or my city. Okay. So consider what is important as well. And you might want to impress them. My country is number one in this. My country is the best at this. My country has the most of these. Okay. All right. So, yeah, so just drop a line in the comments, name and where are you from. Okay. For everyone who just joined us, drop a line to say name, your name, and where are you from. All right. So, I am going to start by introducing my country. Okay. I want you to think about introducing yours. What would you say to introduce? General introduction, maybe just like 2 minutes. You're just talking in a bar. What's your country like? What would you say? Okay. So in a bar, you would just answer with 2 minutes. If you are making a presentation at some kind of club, some kind of event, it's a good idea to use visuals, use pictures as well, okay, to introduce your culture. All right. So let's look at Barbados. Okay, here are some pictures for Barbados. So this first picture here, this one is actually, it looks just like a road to you, but on the left and the right, there are both rum shops. okay? The yellow building and the orange building, they're both rum shops. And it's said in Barbados that we have one of the highest instances of churches per capita in the world. And for every church, there are 2 rum shops, okay? We are actually the inventors of rum. So we're the first country to make rum, and it shows there's rum everywhere. Okay. So for me, that's something when I introduce my country, I always like to mention that we are the inventors of rum. Okay. The second picture, this picture shows what we call a mini moke. Okay. This is a car that only tourists drive. Okay, only tourists drive these cars. They're very cheap. You can rent them. And I always introduce the Minimoke or other things as part of tourism because for Barbados, our main industry is tourism. Okay. And so that's a very big part of who we are. Hotels, beaches, uh, cultural events, all in support of tourism. Okay. The next picture is from the Crop Over Festival. Okay, let me write down Crop Over so that you would know what it looks like. Crop Over Festival. Okay, that's Crop Over. So the Crop Over Festival, it looks like any other carnival in the Caribbean or in South America. And that's a big part of who we are as well. In the summer, there's the Crop Over Festival. I will go into detail about the Crop Over Festival later when we talk about another topic. Okay. This person, you may know her. She's Rihanna, one of the biggest selling artists for music, one of the biggest artists of all time. Okay. And Rihanna is from Barbados. So I always introduce her as well. So Barbados is not that small, but it's still small enough that Rihanna and my brother went to school together. Okay, I don't know her, but she went to the same school as my brother. Okay, so introducing a famous person from your city or your country is also a good idea when you do an introduction. Okay, this middle picture here, this is a former plantation house. It's really close to my house. A plantation house, let me write that down as well. Plantation house. So this is quite historical place, okay? This would be where the master lived on a plantation where they kept slaves, okay? And this slavery, of course, is a big part of all of the Caribbean. In Barbados today, most of our people are Black people because it's a leftover from slavery, okay? So that's another important thing to introducing the history of your country or your city. Important pieces of history are also a part of your culture, okay? And of course, you can't talk about anywhere in the Caribbean without mentioning the beach. Okay, the beach is so important. Like I said, for us, our main industry is tourism, and most of the people come in the winter, North American and European winter season. They come to Barbados and other Caribbean islands to escape from the cold, okay, because we are warm. So they come to escape from the cold. So this beach is actually about 15 minutes walking from my house. So very close. Not so good for swimming, better for surfing, but very, very close to my house. I can walk. Okay. So anyone introduce themselves yet? Please introduce yourself. Please introduce yourself in the comments. Okay, your name and your country. And tell me something about your country. Okay, anything is okay. Tell me, let's look at the things we can say. You can comment on something that people know. You can tell me something that I would not know about your country or your city. And you can tell me an important fact, okay? Anything you think is important, or something impressive. We are number one at something, okay? So please write in the comments, what are you number one at? What is important, okay? Something I wouldn't know. Tell me about your country, okay? All right, so let's look at something impressive about my country. So I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, okay? I want you to guess. So, like I said, I am from Barbados. Now I live in Japan. There is one thing where Japan is number one and Barbados is number two in the whole world, okay? Japan is number one, Barbados is number two in the whole world. Can you guess what it is? It's about people. What is it? So think about that as well, okay? Introduce yourself and your country. Oh, hello. Wow, okay. So lots of comments. We've got Luca from Italy. Ciao, Luca. Julia, oh, nice to see you again, Julia. Muriel from France. Bonjour, salut, Muriel. Hi, Camille says hi. Agnieszka. Agnieszka says hello from Poland. I do not know any Polish. Sorry. I'm going to have to learn for you. Marina from Luxembourg. Luxembourg is French, maybe? Bonjour. And Carol from France. Lots of French people today. Federica from Italy. Ciao. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's night in Japan. It's 9:12 at night. Okay. It's 9:12 at night. Elena. Hi, Elena from Ukraine. I think we've met before too. And Elizabeth from Catalonia. Oh, Gulia's from Russia. Camille from France. Okay. 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 I'll learn. Someday I'll learn how to say your name. Okay. And we've got Lilia. Ligia? Maybe Ligia from Brazil. Bom dia. Oh. And Aaron from Australia. Okay. And Teresa from Brazil. Bom dia. Okay. So tell me something about your country. Tell me something about your country. It can be something people don't know. Comment on something people do know. Okay. It can be something very impressive. Or it could be something that you think is important. I want people to know this about my country. Okay. And while you're at it, please think, what is it that Barbados and Japan were very, very different? Very different. Barbados in the Caribbean, warm, always smiling, dancing, laughing. Japan in the east of Asia, cold, very polite, okay? Very different countries, but we have something in common. Japan is number one, Barbados is number two. What is it? Okay. All right. Fran is saying hello from Madrid. Hola, Fran. How are you? Okay. So let's talk about foods. Let's talk about foods. This is maybe one of the cultural things that comes up very often. People always ask you, what's the famous food from your area? What does it taste like? Okay, so when you describe a food, you might want to talk about what it tastes like, what it's made of. If there's a special time that you eat it, you only eat it at Christmas, you only eat it for breakfast, you might want to add that. Okay, so let's look at some words we could use to describe foods. What could we say about foods? Well, we could say something is spicy or hot. Okay, spicy or hot. So hot, when we talk about foods, has two meanings. It can mean hot with pepper or hot with heat. Okay. I don't know, maybe because when your reaction is the same to both. So hot pepper, hot heat, both are the same. So maybe that's why we use the same word for hot, okay? Or spicy, spicy. You could say that the taste of the food is salty. The taste of the food is salty, okay? You could say it's sour, like a lemon, like that. That's sour. You could say that the food is sour. Or you could say it's bitter, like coffee, okay? Or some chocolate is bitter, okay? So let's see, what comments do we have? Aga says, Agnieszka. Agnieszka. Okay. Yes, Julia, Barbadians like dancing. We love to dance, okay? All of our dancing is in our hips. So it's quite different because Japanese dancing is all in the arms and Barbadian dancing is all in the hips, but we love to dance. And hi, I'm from France says hi, I'm from France. Interesting name. Okay. All right. So tell me something special about your country. Introduce your country. Tell me something. Okay. And also keep thinking, what is it that Japan and Barbados have in common? Japan is number one in the world. Barbados is number two in the world. Just one thing, maybe only one thing. It's about people. Okay. It has to do with people living in the country. Okay. What is the one thing Barbados and Japan have in common? Okay, top of the world. All right, let's go back to our foods. So we could say it's hot, it tastes hot, it's salty, it's sour, it's bitter. And we could also say it has a mild flavor. Okay, so mild means just a small flavor, slight flavor. Okay, we could describe something, it has a mild tomato flavor. It has a mild chocolate flavor, just a slight hint. Okay, you taste it and you say, is there a tomato in this? Just a slight. Or you could say it has a strong flavor, which is the opposite. It has a strong flavor. It has a strong tomato flavor. So you eat it and there's, wow, that's a lot of tomato. Okay. Or a strong fishy flavor. Okay. It has a strong fishy flavor. It has a strong, what? Has a strong lemon flavor. Okay. Or it tastes like something. It tastes like something. Okay. So, um, like lasagna, it tastes like pasta or something. I don't know. Okay. It's not this thing, but it tastes like it. It tastes a bit like this. We often say it tastes like chicken for other meats. Okay. So it tastes like chicken. People make this joke. Even if it doesn't taste like chicken, we can say, oh, it tastes just like chicken. It's kind of a joke. Okay. So let's see. Do you have any foods you want to introduce? Any foods from your country? Today we've got lots of countries represented. We've got France, we've got Russia, we've got Brazil, Australia, Poland. Tell me about some food. Oh, Aga says, let's see. Oh, Camille says, first of all, in France, we spend a lot of time to eat, a lot of time eating, a lot of time eating, okay? Um, Yes, I've heard like food is very important for French people. So I hear. And Aga says, I'm from Poland. People usually connect my country with Lewandowski, a football player, Pope John Paul II, or the politician and Nobel Prize winner Lech Walesa. I do not know Lech Walesa. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. People in Poland love to eat, drink, and complain. Ah, okay. That's interesting because there are some countries where people complain a lot. In Japan, it's the opposite. People don't like to complain. Okay. So this is a big cultural difference between Japan and most countries. People don't like to complain. They don't like to cause any discomfort for the other person. We don't want the other person to be unhappy. Okay. So much so, okay? This feeling is so strong. Japanese people don't usually say no, okay? We don't say no here. We say it's difficult. Oh, that's a little, okay? Can you come to my party? If I say to a Japanese person, can you come to my party? Oh, that's a little time. Oh, they don't say no, okay? Whereas in Barbados, people would just say, no, I can't, but yes, so Japanese people do not like to complain, do not like to say no. Big cultural difference with most countries. Yes, so Aga says her country is really beautiful and a lot of old cities to visit. There's the Baltic Sea, the lakes, and the mountains in the south, Aga. Okay, not on the south, in the south. Nancy says lasagna is from Italy, like pasta. Yes, lasagna. I love lasagna. So that's why that's my example. Aurélie says, I think the food that represents France the best is the croissant. Mm, okay. And Gulia says Russians tried to save the traditions of their ancestors. Okay, Japan too. Very traditional things in Japan. We celebrate such festivals as Pancake Day. We call it Maslenitsa. Spanish call it Mardi Gras. Okay, wow. Very good, everybody. So many comments. Okay, some other things you could say about food. It's dry. Okay, so not a lot of water in it. It's dry. It's moist. So for cake, you eat it and so much water, so smooth, it's moist. It's spongy, it's juicy. Okay, many things you could say about the texture. How does the food feel? Okay, so we have taste. We can say it's bitter or sour or spicy or salty. Okay, we can say it has a mild flavor, mild tomato flavor, strong lemon flavor, or it tastes like something. Okay, and for the texture, how it feels, we can say it's dry, it's moist, it's spongy, it's juicy. Okay, so, oh, Ligia says feijoada. I love feijoada. It's so good. Feijoada is black beans, she says, with many things in it, like pork. Okay, so when I had feijoada, I went to Brazil for the Olympics. I was a volunteer at the Olympics. So um, when I went to Brazil, we had feijoada, and it's like black beans and pork, sausage, like four different meats, and a cast iron saucepan cooked, slow cooked. It's so good. I love feijoada. Thank you, Lydia. I'm so happy. Mm. Let's see. Manuela says, in Rome, it's possible to eat supli. It's very good. It's a little ball of rice. Inside this ball, there is mozzarella. So, mozzarella rice. Wow, that sounds delicious. Wow, okay. Here are some foods from Barbados. Okay, this is the first one is fish cakes, which is codfish cut up really small, mixed together with like baking powder and everything, and then fried in a little ball. Okay, so these are like really popular for party snacks. Okay, if children go out to like a fair, there's always fish cakes. Okay, they're really easy to eat. Just grab one and eat. So they're good like picnic food. They're good for parties. Okay, the second one is our national dish in Barbados. It is called, let me write it down for you, cuckoo and flying fish. Okay, so flying fish is just the fish that jumps out of the water. So these little black rolled up things, these are flying fish. Okay, and the yellow thing on the side is cuckoo. So cuckoo is made from cornmeal and water, stir salt. I don't know. I've never made cuckoo. I'm a bad Barbadian. I've never made cuckoo. It's really hard though, because you have to stir it really nicely or you get clumps. Okay. So I've never made it. And it's usually served with okra. Okay. So this green thing at the top is okra. The third food I have is sauce. Okay, so sauce, I always make sauce here in Japan. I love to make sauce. It is made with pork. The main ingredients are pork, lemon, lime originally, but I use lemon in Japan because we can't get lime easily. So pork and lime are the two main ingredients. You usually have onions in it as well. Okay. I like to put sweet peppers, parsley, thyme. But as long as you have pork and lemon and salt, something will happen. Pork, lemon, or lime, salt, something will happen. It has a mild lemon taste or lime taste. Mild lime taste. Okay. It's so good. I love it. And of course, our rum. Our rum this is the oldest brand of rum in the world. It was first brewed in 1703. So it's 317 years old. Okay. Tell me more about your foods and also tell me about the alcohol in your country. What's a popular alcohol in your country? Okay. So, oh, wow. There's so many comments. Let's see. So, Nancy says pizza is also popular for Italy. Yes. Aga says pierogi. Ah, yes. I always hear New Yorkers talking about pierogi. It's really popular in New York, I think. Okay. Fran says she lives in Madrid, but she's from Italy. And Italian people love to cook. She loves to make pizza, pasta, lasagna, and risotto. Ah, Gulia says there are different soups like okroshka and they use buttermilk or malt with crushed meat and vegetables. Wow. Yeah, I can see how soups would be popular in Russian because it's cold. Okay, soups are so popular. Japan has a lot of soups too, and I live in the north, so it's cold here. Virginia says the food that represents Spain is Spanish omelette and paella. Okay. And Elizabeth says in Cataluna, it's pa am tomate, maybe. Slices of bread with spread tomatoes and a little bit of oil. Okay. And Marina says, she thinks Russia is represented by pelmeni. Okay. And Elena says in Ukraine, the national food is borscht. Beetroot soup with meat, cabbage, potatoes, tomatoes, and sometimes beans. So I always hear borscht, but I didn't know what borscht is. So thank you, Elena. Okay. Marina says the pelmeni are dumplings with meat. Okay. And let's see. The national dish for Ukraine and Russia are very similar. Yes, well, you're close. So yes. Aga says vodka and beer are their alcohol. Yes, so for us, it's rum. Here in Japan, it's sake. So like rice wine. I actually have an aguardiente. This is aguardiente from Brazil. It's so old. It's from 2016. Okay, when I went to Olympics. So that's aguardiente. You make caipirinha. I love caipirinha. It's lemon and ice and alcohol. Okay. And Aurelie says, of course, wine for France. Pablo says Ukrainian borscht. Okay. Okay. So let's look at events. Talking about events in your country. So when you introduce an event, okay, some kind of festival or some kind of tournament, anything like this, you're going to want to say, when is this event held? Why? Why do people have this event? Who takes part? What do people do? Okay, general rule for making a presentation or introducing something. Think of the 5 W's and 1 H. Okay, who, what, when, why, where, and how. If you think of these things, you can answer the questions people want to know. Sorry, before we move on to events, I have a food to show you. This is a Japanese food, okay? This is called natto, okay? It comes in this little box. Let me show you what it looks like on the inside, okay? Have any of you had natto? It's really like famous because it's strong smell. Has a really strong smell. It doesn't want to open, okay? So this is what natto looks like on the inside. We have a sauce, okay? And it's beans. It's actually fermented soybeans. So I'm going to show you how this works. Okay. So there's a little sheet and we take the sheet off with our chopsticks. Okay. I'm going to take the sheet off with my chopsticks, just like that. Okay. There. So because it's fermented, it's really sticky. Okay. Look at that. Really sticky. Okay. And then we want to make it even stickier. So I'm going to mix it like this. And it gets stickier and stickier and stickier. Okay. All right. This is natto. Has anyone have natto? Oh, Oksana says, I love natto. My Japanese mother-in-law makes it for me. Okay. So we mix it up, get it nice and gooey. Okay. And then we add the sauce. Okay. So that's how you eat natto, traditionally, fermented soybeans. Okay, it's good for protein because why the Japanese people eat it is because a long time ago, like after the war and stuff, Japan doesn't have any big game animals to start with, and there was scarcity on pretty much everything after the war, so there wasn't a lot of protein, and so you get protein from this. So like this, and then just going to eat a little bit so you can see. Okay, like that. That's natto. So Oksana has had natto. How about the rest of you? Have you had natto? Elizabeth says, ratafia is a sweet alcoholic beverage that is generally taken as an appetizer. And Irina is from Belarus. We cook various dishes from potatoes, for example, draniki, potato pancakes. She has a book about cooking 500 different potato dishes. Wow. Wow. Oksana says so many foreigners hate natto. Yes. So a lot of people don't like it because it's sticky and it also has a strong smell. So I love it. I eat it every day. But a lot of people do not like it. Okay. Oh, Aurelie says she has never had natto. Okay, Teresa. Yes, the famous event is Carnival in Brazil. Very true. Everybody knows Brazilian Carnival. Okay, so let's go back to events. Okay, when, why, who, where, what, okay, and how. Okay, if you can answer these questions, people will be happy. Okay, so let's look at the Crop Over Festival. We mentioned Crop Over earlier. So usually a carnival is like 1 week or something. Our Crop Over Festival, like we start out in May with unofficial events. So these are not official. The first official event is actually at the beginning of July. Okay, so let's see, where is it? The first official event in this calendar, which is 10 years old, is the BNB Crop Over Festival opening gala. So that's 3rd July. So at the beginning of July through to the first Monday in August is the main part of the festival. Before that, there are a bunch of parties. There's what we call the cavalcade, which goes around. So it brings some of the biggest singers, soca singers. So the music that we sing is soca or calypso. And they go around and everyone goes and we get all hyper. And then the festival starts. Okay. So it's a long festival. At the beginning, it's usually just on weekends, as you can see, Friday, Saturday. Okay. And then as we get later into the festival, like every day there's something. Okay, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, Friday, Saturday. The last week is just singing competitions, dance parties, art. There's an art showcase on the last weekend. Okay, and then the last day is Grand Kadooment, where we have a big street party, like think Brazil Carnival, big street party, and everyone's dancing in tiny costumes. Yeah, it's so much fun. So that's our crop over festival. So the crop over festival, most carnivals are held at the same time as Brazil and Italy, because, as the Italians would know, Carnival is Carnevale, it's go away meat, and it's at the beginning of Lent, because after that, you're going to have a long, hard time eating no meat, okay? But our festival is in summer. Why is our festival in summer? Because it's actually related to sugar cane crop, okay? So I told you we are the country that invented rum. Rum comes from sugar. And so sugar and rum, now our biggest industry is tourism, but before it was sugar. So sugar is everything for us, okay? And also in our history, slaves would have cut sugar. So after, this crop is finished, it's a time to relax. It's a time to party. Not party as a slave, but you're just like, whew, the really difficult days are done. Okay. So that's where the feeling of the festival comes from. We have finished the crop. Let's celebrate. Okay. So it's a harvest festival. Okay. All right. So here are some things. Here are some pictures of the types of costumes. Let me just check our comments. Yes. Aga says she likes natto too. Wow. Okay. And Nancy says she went to Japan and she's never seen this food. So natto is not the sort of food you see in a restaurant so much. It's very like people just eat it for breakfast or with their rice or something. You wouldn't see it in a restaurant. Like I think I've seen it in 2 restaurants ever. So I get it. My first time having it was in the school lunch because I worked in a junior high school. It's not something you just find everywhere. You have to kind of buy it. Like I buy mine, I get mine delivered. Okay. Oh, Carol says when she lived in Japan, yeah, she had it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, back to crop over. So typical type of costumes. Okay. Pictures of like the singing competition, the type of dancing that we do. Okay, is similar to what Americans call twerking. So it's all in the hips, all in the hips, okay? Usually bent over a little and just in the hips. Okay, singing competition. And now some Japanese event. So this is from my town festival in my first town here, Ichinohe in Iwate. And at the town festival, I'm wearing a happy or a hanten, okay, which is just like a celebratory outfit, okay? And we wear these during the festival over a festival outfit. I don't have a festival outfit, so I'm just in a black shirt. But you should be wearing a festival outfit. I'm bad. This is the float. We make this. So my team actually makes this from scratch every year. The red flowers you can see on the side, I make the red flowers. Okay. My team actually, our festival floats almost always have animals. So you can see there are 3 snakes on my float. And the front of the festival float and the back of the festival float each tell a famous story. Okay. We pull the float through the town. It's 2 tons. It's really heavy. So we're pulling this 2-ton thing through the town on ropes. Okay. It doesn't have an engine. It has power steering, but doesn't have an engine. Pull this through the town and we stop sometimes and we sing the story on the float. Okay. So there's like a little Japanese fan. I don't have one right now. And we sing the story. Yo, you are, yeah. And then the drummers, there's some drummers at the front. They go, Yareko no say. So we just go through the town telling the story. Like, it's like all myths and even some history. And that's, we celebrate this. This festival is actually a Shinto festival. So Japan has two main religions, Shinto, which is Japanese, born in Japan, and Buddhist, which is imported. Okay. All right. And this picture is also during the town festival, but it's the mascot for the north of Iwate. Actually, in Iwate, there are 5 of these mascots for each area, and they're called the Wanko Kyodai because Wanko is a bowl. And so they're all bowls with things from the area in them. So this one is Kokuchi because he has rice in his head. I don't know. Okay. Let's check some comments. So many comments. You guys are awesome. Let's see. So, where are we? Okay, so Marina says the traditional food in Luxembourg is raniki. Okay. Elizabeth said St. Jordi is the patron of Catalonia, and the festival is on the 23rd of April. People give one another a rose or a book, and love is in the air. So maybe it's a little like Valentine's. And the streets are filled with people strolling around, holding books and roses, wrapped in ribbons, in the colors of the Catalan flag. Wow. Okay. Simone says, which rum do you suggest? I love Mount Gay rum. I love Mount Gay rum. I might have some actual Mount Gay rum. Now that I think about it, there's got to be rum near me. There's always, you can't be a Barbadian and not have rum somewhere. So, I found it. So, this is a tiny bottle of Mount Gay rum. This is white rum. Okay. There's also the brown rum we saw earlier. So, this one has, I think, what is the percentage on this? I can't see it. It's so old. I've had it forever. This one is called Eclipse. If you like a smoother taste, the white rum is better. But the brown rum is sweeter. Okay, I think the brown rum is sweeter. So yeah, Mount Gay is the oldest in the world. I like Mount Gay. It's from Barbados, but now I think Mount Gay has been bought by Remy. So it often says product of France, but it's from Barbados. Okay. All right. Let's see. Julia says we have Victory Day on the 9th of May. We celebrate this event to honor our ancestors who defeated the Nazis. Oh, okay. On that day, there was a total victory in the Great Patriotic War, which lasted for 5 years. Wow. Okay. Marina says she's from Russia but lives in Luxembourg now. Mm-hmm. And Aurélie says in France, we celebrate July 14th with fireworks and a public holiday. Okay, yes. Lots of interesting celebrations. Okay. Yeah, so all of this is from the festival. The last picture is actually the same festival, but there's a town dance. So like I told you, the dancing in Japan is all hands, clap, clap kind of thing. So here I am doing the town dance in the traditional yukata, which is a summer kimono, okay? Lighter than the winter kimono because winter kimono are really hot. Okay. All right. So finally, remember we had our question earlier. The answer is coming up. Where's our question? What is the impressive fact that Japan and Barbados have in common? Japan is number 1. Barbados is number 2. What is the impressive fact these two have in common? Okay, we're about to find out. What is it? We waited so long to find out. Nobody was able to guess what it was. So here we are. Japan, number 1. Barbados, number 2. This is from Wikipedia. Okay, so you can look at Wikipedia and find it. It's centenarians per capita. A capita is 100,000 people. Centenarians per capita. What is a centenarian? Well, if you speak French, or you will know that cent is 100. So centenarians are people who are 100 years or older. Okay, people 100 years or older. Okay, and Japan has the most per capita. Japan has 48 centenarians for every 100,000. Barbados, 39.9. Okay. Spain is in there. Spain is number 4. Okay. Portugal, number 3. Thailand, number 5. Okay. So this is what Barbados and Japan have in common: long life. Okay. Long life. I'm going to live to be 200 years old because I'm from Barbados. Now I live in Japan. 100, 100. I will be 200. Okay. All right. Marina says in Luxembourg, they celebrate the 1st of May, the International Day of Labor. Yes, we have made, we call it Labor Day or May Day as well, but we don't do anything. It's just there. Okay. All right. So let's talk about some traditions. Okay. For traditions, it can be anything. It can be the way people get married. Festivals are also traditions. The way people are celebrate birthdays, what people do when babies are born. Okay, anything can be a tradition. Anything you've done for a long time. So what are some traditions from your country? What are some traditions from your country? Okay. And if you talk about traditions, you might want to talk about the history or the meaning or how the tradition is carried out. Okay. Or who does it, where, when, all of these sort of things. Okay. We can go back for our 5 H's. Who, what, when, where, why. And 5 W's, sorry, not H's. And the 1 H, how. Okay. So this actually is from my brother's wedding. My brother's wife is Nigerian. So we went to Nigeria and we had a traditional Yoruba wedding. Yoruba is one tribe in Nigeria, which is why I'm wearing a gele. Okay. And when they have the wedding, they have, I guess historically, this is called a dowry. Okay, let me write down dowry for you. So now people don't give a dowry when they marry, but historically, in Europe, in Africa, I think also in Native American culture, when you want to marry someone, you bring some things to their family. Okay, some cows, some fruits, some vegetables. Okay, so now it's just a tradition. There's no meaning now, but before you would have given these things with a meaning, I guess, right? And so they have these things put there. So there's drinks and there's vegetables and there's maybe some things for the house. Okay. I remember one of the things I remember in the ceremony is that there's always all these things and there's a Bible. And they ask the bride to choose the thing that would be most important to their wedding, to their life. And the bride is supposed to choose the Bible. So I remember that from our Nigerian Yoruba traditional wedding. Okay. Tell me about some tradition in your country. Let's see. So Aurelie says, do you think the high rate of centenarian is because of a healthy diet? Yes, I definitely think so. So Japan's diet is legendary for being healthy. Barbados, I don't know how healthy we are now, but when the centenarians, when they were young, they would have eaten a lot of like potatoes, sweet potatoes, those kind of thing. And they walked a lot because there wasn't a lot of transportation. So they walked everywhere. I don't know how it is now, but yes, I think it has to do with diet and a lot of walking. Okay, Japan too. Now there's trains everywhere, but there would have been a lot of walking back then. So that's, I think, why we are number 1 and 2. Okay. Tell me about some traditions in your country. What have you got in your country? Okay. And as usual, I have my cards. So let's try talking about one thing randomly. Tell me about something in your culture. What will we take? Oh, this is interesting. We have emotions. Emotions. Okay. So how do people express emotions in your culture? Okay. Do people laugh a lot? So in my country, people laugh a lot. Okay. Uh, I laugh even more than usual. So I'm always laughing. Um, do people cry in public? Do people express love in public? Do you hug? Do you kiss? Do you kiss romantically? Tell me about emotions in your country. Anything? Marina says, yes, healthy diet and family traditions. Yes, I agree. Definitely healthy diet is a big thing. So it makes me wonder because traditionally both Japan and Barbados didn't have a lot of meat. So Japan because there wasn't much meat to eat, and in Barbados because uh, historically the people are descending from slaves, so they don't have a lot of money. Okay, so they can't buy good meat. Remember, I showed you this food earlier called souse. So this also is left over from right after slavery. We don't have a lot of money. We can't buy good meat, okay? But we can get leftover meat for cheap. So originally, now sauce is made with all kinds of parts, but originally, sauce was made with the pig's head and the pig's feet, okay? Now we still put feet and ears, but usually not the whole head, okay? So traditionally, sauce was made because it's the pig head. Nobody wants to eat the pig head, so we're trying to make it better, and that's why we had the lemon or the lime and the cucumber. I forgot to say cucumbers in there. So cucumber, pork, and lime are the main things that you must have, or lime or lemon. So we put the cucumber and the lime in there to try to make it the best we can because it's not good meat. Okay. So traditionally, both of these cultures would not have eaten a lot of meat. I have no idea if that has something to do with it, but here we are, number 1 and 2 in centenarians, number 1 and 2. So, what do you say about emotions? Aga says Polish people are very emotional and express all also negative emotions in public very often. Nancy says in Italy, the majority of people love to talk aloud. Yes. So Barbados, we talk a lot too. We like talking. The other Caribbean islands say we talk and we never do. So Barbadian people always talk about everything. What is this person doing? What is this politician doing? Why is this way? But we don't do so much. Okay. Yeah. So I understand talking a lot, but we don't do just talking a lot. Okay, so let's run back through what we did today quickly, almost at the end of our time. Today, we looked at our cultures, okay? And when we might have to share that presentations, in business, introducing someone to your country, to your friends from another country, and sometimes just when you sit next to a random person in a bar or a bus or anywhere, okay? And when you want to introduce your country, maybe you can use some stuff you know people know, some stuff you know they don't know, things that you think are important, and something impressive. Okay, for me, an impressive thing is that Barbados and Japan are 1 and 2 for the number of people over 100. Centenarians is the word. Okay. And you often have to introduce your food. Okay, so think about food words: hot, spicy, salty, sour, bitter. Okay, a mild flavor, a strong flavor. It tastes like. Okay, and also the texture. How does it feel? It's dry, moist, spongy, juicy. Okay. For natto, it is sticky. Okay. And for events, people might ask you about events in your country. Okay. Talk about when they're held, why they're held, who joins, what people do. Okay. When you talk about an event in your country. Okay. Any questions before I wrap up? Any questions? Oh, traditions, yes. Talk about your country's traditions, maybe some of the history, because history often carries over to now. Okay. Um, like, for example, like I said, the other Caribbean countries say that we never do anything. And that has a historical tie. Okay. Barbados is actually the first island. If you're sailing, you get to Barbados first. Okay. And it's from Africa to Barbados, there's nothing. So people come, they bring the slaves, they come straight to Barbados. So what happens? This is the first stop. People take the gentle looking slaves. Oh, he will not cause any trouble. And so we are the gentlest people. we historically, we still are. Okay. So history might be important to explain if you present your culture. Okay. Let's see. And Elena says in Ukraine, they're not emotional in public. Only young people and teenagers. Only young people and teenagers are emotional. Okay. All right. So, everybody, great job today. Thank you so much for joining us on italki's live session. I hope you have had a lot of fun. Be sure to check out the other sessions. And if you'd like to check up on one of the teachers, you can find us on the landing page. You can find us in the bottom of the YouTube page as well. Very good session today. You guys were awesome. I'm so glad that we got to spend some time together. See you next time.
Didn't make it into school. So my parents will not be proud of me. I blew it.
Yeah, but you locked up late to work. Nobody ever knew that.
Yeah, I'm never late.
Number 3, British. Having a mare. Having a mare.
Having a mare, a nightmare, like horrible, real nightmare in reality, basically.
Very good. That's exactly
That
it.
was a lot easier than that previously.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd go and spin you. Having a mare? You were having a mare before.
I was having a mare
Yeah.
before, not understanding anything she was saying.
Yeah, exactly. So there you have it. There's our British and American slang. Tell us what you thought of it. Did you understand it? And we'll see you next time.
My name is Vũ Nguyễn. Tên tôi là Vũ Nguyễn. It's really amazing thing for me. From italki, I can meet people around the world, and they can give me more energy to live and more inspiration to live the world also. Very magical, yeah. When I can go on lesson and I feel that I'm doing a very good job, and then working at home is a very wonderful thing. I think that I can do something, and I'm doing something here. I think that I can say idea and talk with people. That is the first motivation for me to come here. The second thing that I can have some money for my life, to make my life become better and more comfortable. It's very wonderful website of italki, because italki is the connection between every people in the world with each other. There are many purposes for us to learn a new language. Innovation is the most important. Not only study language, but also sharing idea and culture and everything in the life. And through the learning and we can share more idea and we can share our life better. You know that because each person have their own experience and their own knowledge and their own way of living, And when we meet new people, and we think that we are discovering a new universe or a new area or something like that.
So it's wonderful that we have this diversity and we should just learn from each other. But if you at least just learn a second language and expose yourself to a second culture, not only do you understand that culture better, but you understand your own culture better. And if most people just did that and were talking openly and honestly about themselves and other people, I don't think there would be any diversity problems. Because we're all learning from each other.
He is a very good student. He studied very well, and he just learned for, he just only studied for 1 month, but now he can speak very much Vietnamese. Later on, the student and the teacher can meet in a different country, and then the relationship become very good. We drink coffee together, and we go and I ride a motorbike, and I take them along somewhere beautiful together. And we talk together, and then they come back to their country, and we become teacher and student again. We study again. Yeah.
The number of refugees worldwide has reached historic levels as tens of millions of people seek asylum from conflicts in their home countries. Even for those able to reach countries willing to take them in, rebuilding their lives and careers in unfamiliar societies often proves challenging. For one group of refugees living in Istanbul, teaching online Arabic lessons to students across the world has offered a way to overcome these obstacles and establish new hope. As well as earning income, they have been able to share their experiences with people from different cultures and backgrounds, cultivating meaningful relationships with students.
My name is Rahaf, and I'm from Latakia, Syria. Previously, I had a normal but busy life.
My name is Abdullah, and I'm a Syrian guy from Homs, the capital of funny jokes.
Hello, my name is Amr. I'm an Arabic teacher on italki. I'm from Egypt.
Hi, I'm Hussam. I'm from Syria, Hasaka, and I'm a teacher on italki now.
3 years ago, I came to Turkey, to Istanbul. Many challenges came in one time. Leaving a country is not, or leaving your home. This is one, it's like fish out of the group.
I mean, the challenge that my career is almost dead. This is the only challenge now. Online teaching, it solves this problem, of course, because you can just be wherever and start your class.
What italki offered me is like new students I have never met from another continent, way far from me. They want to like learn my language. I feel like this is like, I feel sometimes emotional.
italki, Besta College, and NGO Small Projects Istanbul are working together on this project.
It's important for people to kind of see and get to know someone who's experiencing a difficult time or who has had a difficult past, and to just remember people are people. We need to remember that we have a shared humanity, and I think that gets lost a lot in the media or in the news.
I'm teaching Arabic for first-year students of Arabic in America. We both enjoy teaching and learning. It's an amazing experience for me as a teacher. I find it so helpful for me, also for the students.
Going into it, people might like have these assumptions that you're supposed to like learn something about refugees or like understand something new. But I think it's like most valuable to realize that like you're not really learning anything new other than that like this is like just another person just like you.
My tutor Muhammad was like so nice and so willing to work with my level of speaking and comprehension.
At the beginning, teaching online was a new experience for me. and it had a lot of challenges, but now I'm used to it. And honestly, I am enjoying teaching Arabic on italki.
I care now. I care more. I care more about the language. I care more about my students. Teaching Arabic is something valuable for me. Maybe give me hope, or I feel gain hope. It's reward for me.
Hi, I'm a language learning app.
Can we move on?
This is a dog.
I don't have a dog.
Repeat after me. This person eats bread.
I want to practice English for my job interview.
Incorrect. You haven't reached this lesson yet. Now repeat after me. This person eats bread.
Fine. This person eats bread.
That's better. Moving on.
¿Cansado de aplicaciones de idiomas inflexibles? Usa italki para aprender como tú quieras aprender y estudiar cualquier idioma con nativos.
Meet Peter. He is learning Chinese. He was studying on his own with textbooks, flashcards, and apps, but is still having problems with basic conversation. This is Maria. She loves learning English, but she doesn't have many opportunities to use it. With italki, Peter and Maria are able to get personal online lessons to help them become fluent in a foreign language. You can start learning a language on italki today. Just follow these 3 simple steps. 1. Select the language. English, Spanish, Chinese, French, Japanese. italki has teachers for every language. 2. Select the teacher. With italki, you can choose from thousands of experienced teachers from all over the world. And 3. Schedule a lesson. Online language lessons are the next best thing to living in a foreign country. With italki, you'll have a personal language teacher and real conversations with native speakers. Every day, thousands of people are connected to international teachers through italki. Find a teacher today and become fluent in a foreign language.
Hi, my name's Tom. I'm from the US, I'm a chemical engineer, and I'm passionate about language learning. I've used italki to learn 8 languages to a conversational level. I grew up in Colorado, where I was exposed to many different cultures, which cultivated my interest in languages. One of the first languages I became conversational in was Norwegian. I decided to book a trip to Norway. To prepare, I found a group class with around 7 people. Not only were they extremely expensive, it was around $40 to $50 per lesson, but progress was also frustratingly slow due to the size of the class. I heard about italki from a positive review from a famous polyglot. I was amazed to discover that I could learn any language I want, one-on-one, and for the fraction of the price as offline classes. I thought, how is this even possible? I immediately signed up with 2 teachers in Norwegian. One teacher would have conversation lessons and go through a textbook, and with the other teacher we would go through worksheets and chat about random things. So essentially I structured the classes in a way that would suit my own learning style, which never would have happened without italki. Within a year I was relatively fluent in Norwegian. I was so happy that I could actually go to the country and use the language in a practical setting. And the best part is that I really enjoyed the learning process. I thought, why stop there? I picked up Italian and mixed my interest in Italian cooking with lessons on italki. After learning Italian for a year and going to northern Italy, I was able to easily get around and communicate with people. I then decided to set myself a personal goal of passing an advanced Italian exam, and my teacher on italki helped me to achieve this. I was hooked. I'd found the ultimate formula for learning a language from scratch and staying motivated. I would book a holiday in a new country in 1 year's time so that I could put the language into practice. I did the same with Japanese, French, German, Russian, Czech, and Hungarian, and even explored Chinese, Thai, Serbian, Farsi, and Sicilian. From this process, I made so many valuable friendships and connections that has improved not only my communication, but also my confidence. Whether I'm watching the news in German, reading about Italian politics, speaking to my cats in Norwegian, on the phone to my friends in Bergen, or watching fitness and nutrition videos in Czech, I find a way to get at least some practice of one of the languages every day. I found the best way to stay motivated is to align my interests with my language learning, and in that way it doesn't take over my whole life, which people often believe. I find this way of learning on italki so much fun.
Lingvi es una aplicación móvil que ayuda a practicar idiomas de manera instantánea conectando a usuarios disponibles en todo el mundo. Con Lingvi encontrarás personas nativas dispuestas a ayudarte a practicar el idioma que desees aprender. Los usuarios con tiempo libre se mostrarán disponibles para recibir llamadas y de esta forma ganarán recompensas ayudando a otros usuarios. Así es como conectamos personas de forma colaborativa y gratuita en nuestra aplicación. Únete a nuestra comunidad, haz nuevos amigos y mejora en todos los idiomas que quieras. Descarga Lingvi y practiquemos juntos.
Este es Peter. Está aprendiendo chino. Ha intentado estudiar por su cuenta con libros, tarjetas de vocabulario y aplicaciones móviles, pero sigue teniendo problemas para hablar. Esta es María. Le encanta aprender inglés, pero no tiene oportunidades para ponerlo en práctica. Con italki, Peter y María pueden recibir clases personales online para hablar con fluidez en otro idioma. Tú también puedes aprender un idioma en italki. Empieza hoy en 3 simples pasos. Primero, elige un idioma. Inglés, alemán, chino, francés, japonés. Italki tiene profesores para cualquier idioma. Segundo, escoge un profesor. Con italki puedes escoger entre miles de profesores con experiencia de todo el mundo. Tercero, elige el horario de tu lección. Las clases de idiomas online son el mejor método para aprender con profesores nativos. Con italki tendrás un profesor de idiomas personal y conversaciones reales con hablantes nativos. Cada día miles de personas aprenden con profesores internacionales a través de italki. Encuentra un profesor hoy y domina el idioma de tu lección.
Hi everyone, it's Vicente and I teach Spanish on italki.com. And today we will be talking about 3 grammar rules to follow when you start learning Spanish. The first one is that, as you have already heard, Spanish verbs are always conjugated. That means that they have to match with the subject of the sentence. For example, there are different pronouns in Spanish. Yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, nosotras, vosotros, vosotras, and ellos, ellas, y ustedes. All these pronouns have their own conjugations, and it's very common for beginners to mix them up. So remember this. When you start to conjugate the verbs, they have to match. The second rule is very important as well. The Spanish nouns and adjectives has to be in the same level. Let me explain you this. If you have a noun that is feminine and plural, for example, las mujeres, the adjective that you have to use right after the noun has to be feminine and plural as well. For example, las mujeres españolas. It is the same with the articles las, female and plural. We use this article because, as I say, it's female and plural. The third rule I already mentioned before, and be careful, English speakers, because the adjectives in Spanish go after the noun, not before like in English. This is very common for students that learn Spanish and already speak or know English. When I say it, las mujeres españolas, españolas is the adjective, and I put it after las mujeres. In English, it would be the Spanish woman, but not in Spanish. Okay, there are some occasions where the adjectives go before the nouns. That is true, but normally this use comes out at intermediate level or advanced level, so do not worry when you are a beginner. Thanks for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to
Hello everyone, welcome. And today we're going to get started on our phrasal verbs workshop. I know today we have lots of participants from many different countries. Welcome to everyone. My name is Warren. I'm an English teacher and communication coach here on italki, and it's my pleasure to be with you here today. So today we're going to be doing a phrasal verbs workshop. And before we begin, while we're waiting on some more participants to arrive, we'll be doing a numbers challenge. So how this works, I'm going to say 10 numbers. I want for you to write them down in the chat box, and I'll see your comments as you write them in the chat, okay? So our first number is going to be 472. Our first number is going to be 472. Let's see who can get that. Write it down in the chat box now. Our first number, 472. So I know we have Ingrid here. I also saw Marina in the chat. And I see that we've got about a dozen people joining us on the YouTube page. So welcome to all of you. Good morning, Alex and Victoria. So the first number, 172. Alex, well done. Alex, well done. So let's try another one, 406. Our next number is 406. 406 in our numbers challenge. Write that down now. 406. Well done, Alex. Okay, so let's do something a bit more complicated. 3007. Yeah, 3007. Hello, Luca. Welcome. And I see also we have Tenasi as well joining us, and Nancy. Welcome to you all. Thanks for being here. Okay, Alex, Victoria, and Elena, excellent job. Okay, well, I see that you all are doing quite well with the numbers, so we're going to try something much more complicated. Let's go into the 100,000s. 100,000s. Raphael, greetings. Muriel, welcome to you. Nancy, I'm from the United States in Tennessee. I'll tell you a lot more about my about where I'm from soon. And if you're having problems with the audio, Nancy, just refresh the page. So we're going to try this next number, 106,006. Yeah, 106,006. 106,006. Write that number in the chat box now, 106,006. And I see we also have some participants on YouTube, Angel, Manuela, Lucia, Rocio. Welcome to you all. And Giuseppe, 106,006. Okay, well done. So for anyone who's just joining us now, we're doing a numbers challenge. Write the number you hear in the box. So we'll do two more. The correct number, of course, is, as Irene has written, 106,066. Two more numbers, yeah? 16,600,097. Again, our second to last number, 16,600,097. I'll say that number again, 16,600,097. So anyone who's just joining us, this is our numbers challenge. We're going to be looking at phrasal verbs today, but while we're getting started, we're going to warm up with this. Write the number in the chat. Let's see who can get it correct. We don't have any correct responses yet. So listen again, 16,600,097. Again, 16,600,097. And Elena is the first one to get it right. Well done, Elena. 16,600,097. And Giuseppe has also gotten it correct. Last number, 49,027,008. 49,027,008. 27,008. So nice job, Rafael. Nice job, Luca and Tenasi on our last number. Our next number, and this is our very last number for our number challenge, 49,027,008. Alex and Elena, well done. Looks like Sarah's gotten it as well. Nancy, try again. And to Nancy, I want you also to try again. 49,027,008. Excellent job, guys. So let's do a different challenge. Now we're going to do a phrasal verbs challenge. And we're joined as well by our friend Jeffrey. Jeffrey's part of the studio team who's helping us get all the technical components done. Jeffrey, if you don't mind, thank you very much. Then let's all also say hello to Jeffrey, who's behind the scenes helping us out, and give him a big thanks. So we're going to be doing a phrasal verbs challenge today. I want you to think of phrasal verbs you know that include the particle off. Hello, Gabriela. Welcome. Phrasal verbs that include the particle off. So, for example, drop off is a phrasal verb that includes the particle off. So Alex says get off. Victoria says show off. Irene put off. Good. Okay. What other verbs do you know with the particle off? So guys, in this week's phrasal verb workshops, we're going to have 2 phrasal verb workshops, one today and one at Wednesday at the same time. On Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, at this same time, I'll be doing email writing workshops. So if phrasal verbs are something you struggle with or writing emails, then please join for those sessions. And I see we've got a lot of people writing on italki, Irene, Elena, Lucia, Sarah, to Nancy, Osaka. Good, Osaka said, Oksana says to call off. So for example, hopefully the quarantine is eventually called off. Brendetta says to pay off. Good. This is when we complete our payments on a loan. So perhaps you have your car paid off. Great job. Lots of participation. I'm happy to see that. Well, let's do another phrasal verb challenge. How about with the particle, this time as on, with the particle on. So for example, move on is when you want someone to change the subject, yeah? So Giuseppe says to get on, for example, to get online. Elena, put on. So in the morning, you put on your clothes. Good. Alex says to go on. So for example, maybe you've gone on television and given an interview. Nancy is writing turn on. Well done, Nancy. Turn on the radio and listen to some music. Anne is also joining us. Welcome, Anne. To switch on. Good. This means like to activate something. So perhaps you want to switch on your English learning abilities within your own brain. So Sarah writing depend on. Sarah, that's a good idea, but that's not a phrasal verb. I wouldn't say. We're depending on him. We'll have to talk about that in our next class. In fact, I'll make a note of it. Elizabeth, keep on. Elena says carry on. Excellent job. Okay, how about without? Can you think of any phrasal verbs with the particle out? For example, throw out the garbage, or throw out the bad news. Right now, I'm throwing out the paper. I think that with the coronavirus, it's best just to imagine if you're staying at home, to just try to keep it out of your brain, right? So I'm throwing out the paper in the morning. Lurianne says drop out. Good. Irene, go out. Giuseppe, work out. Victoria writes to put out. Yeah. Hello, Sarah. To find out. Well done. To put out. Excellent. Excellent. To keep out. Well done. So guys, no excuses. I see that you're already doing well, doing a well job with this this activity of our phrasal verb challenge. Okay, wonderful. Well, everyone, welcome to our phrasal verb workshop number 1 of the week. I'd like to know where you're from. Write your country in the chat box now. And as Gulia writes, bring it on. Let's see where our participants are from today. Bring it on and let me know. Where are you from? Write your country in the chat box now. So I see we have someone from Poland. We have Sara from France, Audrey from France, some participants from Italy, Ukraine, Spain, and Russia. We have Lucia from Madrid, Beatriz from Spain, Diana Carolina in Colombia. Where are you from in Colombia, Diana? Colombia is a country very important to me. We have someone from Belarus, Elizabeth, who's Catalana. Welcome, Elizabeth. And we have someone from Luxembourg, Diana from Bogota, and Erika is back with us. Hello, Erika. Nice to see you again. Good morning in Ecuador and from Ukraine. So welcome, everyone. Well, let me tell you a bit about myself. My name's Warren. Nice to meet you. I'm from Tennessee, which is a state here in the United States. Maybe you don't recognize Tennessee on a map, but you definitely know some things about Tennessee. For example, country music is a really important part of our culture here. Maybe you've heard of Johnny Cash or Dolly Parton. All are famous country musicians from Tennessee. Elvis Presley, also from Tennessee. And Raphael is joining us. Hey, Raphael, I'm glad to see you're here. And we also have something very famous from Tennessee, which is Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey. So if you are a fan of Jack Daniel's, then you definitely know the flavors of Tennessee. When I was living in Spain, I see we have lots of people who are Spanish speakers, so I'll tell you this joke. When I was living in Spain studying, I had a professor that said, en el pueblo de Warren, ellos pueden golpear dos piedras y salen gotas de whisky. Hay ríos de whisky y salen gotas de whisky cuando golpean dos piedras. So we were all very happy to get 2 rocks together. So welcome to everyone. And I'm connecting to you from Tennessee. I see we have people from Kazakhstan, Bulgaria, Korea, Russia, France, all over the world. So I am from Tennessee, but I've lived for the past 7 years in Colombia, where I've worked as an English teacher and a communication coach. However, now I work online with students just like you every day who want to improve the way they communicate in English. I'm a CELTA certified English teacher. I have 2 degrees, both bachelors of arts, one in communication studies, the other in Spanish language studies. I'm also certified by British Council and Cambridge English to train students who are getting ready to take the IELTS exam. And as I mentioned, I work as a communication coach, not as an English teacher. So what does that mean? I work with students who want to improve the way they communicate in English for specific purposes. It could be conversation, it could be getting ready for an exam, it could be a job interview. But if you're looking to improve the way you communicate in a specific purpose, let me know, and perhaps I can help you. Some things that I do right now are job interview preparation, exam preparation, and conversational classes. Actually, I saw some students of mine, Raphael and Ingrid, are here, who are 2 wonderful conversational students. So a shout out to you guys. Thanks for joining. So one more question. Rank your confidence when using phrasal verbs. I'd like for you to use 1 to 10. Of course, 1 being very unconfident and 10 being very confident. Write your answers in the chat box now. I'd like to know more about how comfortable you feel when you're using phrasal verbs. So we have a couple of different levels here. Alex is writing that he's a 6. Elena says between 5 and 6. Erika's writing that she's a 5. Erika, I think your phrasal verb skills have improved since we've begun these workshops. Lorraine says a 2. Giuseppe says 6. Angel is talking about 4. Ingrid, 8. Wow, I'm happy to see that. Okay, and Victoria is also saying a 5. So we've got lots of different levels. Wonderful. And France is also up there with Ingrid saying 8. All right, so we have some very confident people and some very unconfident people. So those of you who ranked 4 and above, I'm really going to depend on your help during our lesson today. So be sure to participate lots by chatting in the chat box. Today's goal is for you to better understand, to have a better understanding of phrasal verbs and do some practice. So what are we going to do in our workshop? Let's look at an outline. First, we're going to talk about the mechanics of phrasal verbs. Then we're going to learn some new phrasal verbs and practice with them, okay? So give me 5 minutes of your attention and we'll talk some about the mechanics of phrasal verbs. And also, thanks for being here, guys. I know a lot of us in the world, most of us in the world are on lockdown right now, including myself. And it's important for us to use our time wisely. I think a lot of people are using this time just to watch television and not learn some new skills. So kudos to those joining and using your time to improve your knowledge of phrasal verbs. Well done. Thanks for being here. So remember, you can also join at any time at this site, italki.com/istayAtHome. This is where you can find our schedule of classes as well as the chat. Hi, Robert. Welcome. Nice to see that you're joining us. So we're going to be doing some quick review for about 5 minutes of the rules for phrasal verbs. Pay attention, as these will be extra important in today's lesson. So phrasal verbs, how do they work? Phrasal verb is a verb plus a particle. For example, bring in means entrar. Bring is the verb and in is the particle. Another one could be get on with, which is llevarse bien. So get is the verb and on with are the 2 particles. Let's see if you can identify the verb and particle in this next example, okay? So write your answer in the chat box. The verb is hang out, hang out. So we're going to put 30 seconds on the clock. Go ahead, begin now. Write in the chat box which is the verb and which is the particle. Begin now. Okay, excellent. We already have some answers rolling in. Beatriz, well done. Diana, well done. Guya, well done. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, lots of correct answers. So hang is the verb and out is the particle. Well done to everyone who's gotten that correct. So a phrasal verb is a verb plus 1 or 2 particles that together have one meaning. For example, bring means llevar o traer, but bring in together means entrar. For example, can you please bring in the dog? Tomar is take, but take out means sacar. So these together mean one thing. Take out does not mean tomar afuera. It means sacar. Yeah? So Sally already took out the trash. Let's look at one more example. Go means ir, but go off means explotar, right? The bomb went off at 3 a.m. Get means conseguir, but get on with means llevarse bien. We get on with our neighbors. Okay, now let's talk about one other rule with phrasal verbs, which is where do I put the object? whenever we have a phrasal verb, we generally have objects too. For example, we're going to pick up Stephen. If Stephen is our object, we have 3 different options. Really, there are 4, but only 3 are correct. So the first one, we're going to pick up Stephen. We can place the object after the verb and particle. In this case, the object is named Stephen. In case number 2, we still have the object named Stephen, not a pronoun, but the actual name. We're going to pick Stephen up. So if the object is named, such as the student, Stephen, the live stream, the dog, then we can either put that object after the verb and particle or between the verb and particle. However, if the object is a pronoun, so for example, instead of Stephen, we say him. Instead of students, we say them. Instead of the workshop, we say it. And instead of the dog, we say him. Yeah? If it's a pronoun, we can only place it between the verb and the particle. Okay? So it's correct to say we're going to pick him up, but never correct to say we're going to pick up him. So once again, if the object is a pronoun, we must keep it between the verb and the particle, never outside of the verb and particle. So let's do some practice. Let's see what you know. One of these is incorrect. I'd like for you to identify the incorrect one and write your answer in the chat. Is it A, can you bring the dog in? B, can you bring in him? C, can you bring him in? Or D, can you bring in the dog? Which one is incorrect? Wonderful. So I have lots of correct answers. B is incorrect. Well done, everyone. Okay, how about another one? Which one is incorrect? Answer in the chat. A, you've eaten up all your dinner. B, you've eaten all your dinner up. C, you've eaten it all up. Or D, you've eaten up all it. Which is incorrect? A, B, C, or D? Write your answers in the chat box now. Good. Only one is incorrect. Which one is it? Excellent job, everyone. The incorrect answer is D. So let's do another exercise to see what you know. In this sentence that I've written, there is a mistake. Can you identify it and correct it? This is the sentence with a mistake. The robbers stole all of his money and beat up him. The robbers stole all of his money and beat up him. Write the complete correct sentence in the chat box now. The robbers stole all of his money and beat up him. So I have here the presentation and here the chat so that I can see your answers. And I see we have lots of answers today. Well done. Lots of correct answers coming in. Well done to everyone. The correct word order is the robbers stole all of his money and beat him up. Excellent. Okay, so let's do a little bit of practice. Are you guys ready to do some practice? Ready to practice? Okay, I have the feeling that yes, because we have a lot of participants today, and you guys seem to be already quite ready to do some work. So I'm glad that you're motivated. Guys, it's Monday. Let's learn some new phrasal verbs. So Luca says yes. Rafael says he's ready. Lourdian is also writing that she's yes. Diana Carolina says yes. Elizabeth says ready. Martina says ready. I say let's go. Move on. Today, guys, we're going to be looking at phrasal verbs that focus on the particle down, okay? So all of our verbs are going to be different, but they're all going to end with down. Now, I want to show you a little phrasal verb hack that you can use. Sometimes there's a particle pattern, and we're going to notice that today. Because remember, we're only speaking about verbs that end with down. So phrasal verbs with down can indicate three things. One, a downward movement. For example, the teacher told all the students to sit down. Phrasal verbs with down can also indicate a decrease. The music's too loud. Turn it down. Phrasal verbs with down can also be used to indicate some kind of completion, an ending, or a stopping. Business was so bad that they had to close the shop down. So those are the scenarios we're going to see today in our phrasal verbs to indicate either a downward movement, a decrease, completion, ending, or stopping. So we're going to break it down and focus on 8 phrasal verbs at a time. And remember that these verbs, the down in these verbs always has a meaning of downward movement, decrease, or completion. So the verbs we're going to look at today are hand down, run down, splash down, wear down, wind down, live down, and write down, as well as let someone down. So if you have any questions, let's take a moment for questions about clarification. If there's one that you're unclear about, let us know in the chat box and perhaps we can generate an example. Again, the verbs we're focusing on today are hand down, run down, splash down, wear down, wind down, live down, write down, and also to let someone down. So if there's any of those that you're not familiar with, write it in the chat and we'll see if we can generate some examples there. It seems that everyone's clear on these verbs. So let's get on with the practice, shall we? Okay, I see some people are asking actually about wind down. So wind down is, for example, does anyone know the meaning of wind down? For example, I could say, after a long day, I enjoy winding down with a cup of tea and some nice jazz. Yeah, after a long day of classes, I like to relax with a cup of tea and some jazz. So to wind down is to kind of transition from a stressful, chaotic moment to more of a chill moment. Yeah, Diana, I like your suggestion there, kind of to chill out is to wind down. I see some people are asking about hand down. For example, I don't have anything here, but let's say, for example, that my watch was my grandfather's watch, and then it became my father's watch, and now it's my watch. So that's something that is is handed down from generation to generation. In my first class today, I talked about superstitions with a student in Brazil and learned that a lot of superstitions are passed down from generation to generation. That's also to hand down superstitions. And Tina, I see that you say you're writing down all the advice. This is an offer that goes for anyone. If you would like access to this presentation, just send me a message on italki and I can send you a link so that you can access this presentation. For now, just pay attention, be present, And if you'd like to have a copy of my presentation, I can give it to you at the end of our class. Just go to my profile, italki.com/communicate, send me a message, or that's the only way I really can share it with you is if you send me a message and ask for that. But I would be happy to do that. And splashdown, Lucia is asking about splashdown. Think about the verb splash. Splash is when something falls into water. So to splash down, yeah, something comes down and creates a splash in water. So let's do some practice now. Okay, ready, guys? So what we're going to do here is I'm going to give you a statement that someone says, and you're going to select an appropriate answer, okay? So for example, if someone says to you, why is John so irritable these days? What perhaps could you respond with? A, I find yoga helps me to wind down. B, why don't you write down a few ideas first? Or C, I think the constant noise is beginning to wear him down. So if someone says to you, why is John so irritable these days? How could you respond? A, I find yoga helps me to wind down. B, why don't you write down a few ideas first? Or C, I think the constant noise is beginning to wear him down. So we have lots of answers rolling in, lots of correct answers. Then the correct answer is C. I think the constant noise is beginning to wear him down. Well done, everyone. Let's do another. I've got to give a speech and I don't know what to say. I've got to give a speech, but I don't know what to say. So your friend tells you, I've got to give a speech and I don't know what to say. What could you tell your friend? A, I find yoga helps me to wind down. B, well, why don't you write down a few ideas first? Or C, I think the constant noise is beginning to wear him down. A, I find yoga helps me to wind down. B, why don't you write down a few ideas first? Or C, I think the constant noise is beginning to wear him down. So we've got lots of correct answers. Simone, Rafael, Victoria, Angie, Lorraine, Luca, Enrique, Sergi, Sarah, Grazia, Madrid, Ivo, Martina, Lucia, and Fran over on YouTube. Also, Robert, Nasser, Erika, Gabriel, Lucia, and Jefferson. Also, Nina writing us, and France writing the answer B. Well done to all of you. Why don't you write down a few ideas first? Well done. Okay, let's do another challenge. If someone says to you, how do you manage to relax after a hard day at the office? How do you manage to relax after a hard day at the office? How could you respond? A, I find yoga helps me to wind down. B, why don't you write down a few ideas first? Or C, I think the constant noise is beginning to wear him down. Good. Okay, so we have lots of good answers here. The correct answer is A. I find yoga helps me to wind down. So guys, we have lots of people from different countries. What do you do after a long day to wind down? This person says that they enjoy doing yoga. For example, I enjoy listening to music or maybe playing music in order to wind down. What do you do in order to wind down? Do you listen to music? Do you go for a walk? Do you spend time with family in order to wind down? What do you like to do in order to wind down? So Gulia says, I just sleep. Wow, you're lucky. I wish I could do that after a hard day's work. Just go to bed, but I have to do something in order to wind down. Ingrid likes to read a book in order to wind down. Gracia says that they like listening to music. Gracia, what kind of music do you listen to? Giuseppe works out in order to wind down. And Diana says puzzles and Sudokus. Excellent, Diana. Diana, are you doing a puzzle right now? And how many pieces is your puzzle? Martina has the same idea as me, to drink a glass of wine and listen to some good music. And Fran likes to play piano. Raphael, interesting. Raphael writes that he likes to read some news in order to wind down. I believe, is this my student Raphael from South Korea? I think that at the end of your day, on Mondays, you also take English class to wind down. France enjoys studying grammar in order to wind down. And Nancy, I drown. What do you mean? Raphael, welcome. I'm glad that we were able to have your class today in the end. Good. And then Nasir is writing that they like to play with the children. Nancy, check what you mean. Drown means ahogarse in Spanish. So I certainly hope that's not what you do after a long day, is drowned. That would be a way to have no other long day ever again, certainly. So I think that we might mean something else. Let's do another practice. Let's do 3 more, and then we'll chat some more. So if someone says, where is the space shuttle going to land? Where is the space shuttle going to land? So a space shuttle is something that we use to go to the moon, to go to Mars. NASA makes space shuttles. SpaceX makes space shuttles. Currently, the shuttles go to the International Space Station to take supplies. Okay? So if someone says to you, where is the space shuttle going to land? How could you respond? A, it's supposed to splash down somewhere in the Pacific. B, he'll never live it down, will he? Or C, she was run down by a lorry while crossing the road. What could you say there? Where is the space shuttle going to land? A, it's supposed to splash down somewhere in the Pacific. B, he'll never live it down, will he? Or C, she was run down by a lorry while crossing the road. So we have a few different answers coming in. It looks like we're between A and B. So think about what happens. A space shuttle is in space, and to land, it has to re-enter the atmosphere. And of course, there's gravity below the atmosphere, right? And so then it begins to fall down, and the rockets are used to propel against gravity. Where does a space shuttle land? In the ocean, right? And when a space shuttle lands, it makes a huge splash. So I'm going to say the correct answer here is A. It's supposed to splash down somewhere in the Pacific. So we could use splash down to say when something very large, like a space shuttle, a satellite, a meteorite, splashes into the ocean. Yeah? Good. We could also use this, for example, for a plane crash. If a plane crashes into the ocean, it's splashed down into the ocean. Let's do another one. So your friend asks you, how did the accident happen? How did the accident happen? How could you respond? A, it's supposed to splash down somewhere in the Pacific. B, he'll never live it down, will he? Or C, she was run down by a lorry while crossing the road. What could we say there to our friend? How did the accident happen? A, it's supposed to splash down somewhere in the Pacific. B, he'll never live it down, will he? Or C, she was run down by a lorry while crossing the road. So we have lots of correct answers coming in. Well done. The correct answer is C. She was run down by a lorry while crossing the road. So for some bonus points, lorry is a British English word. For bonus points, how do we say lorry in North American English. Lorry is something that carries a large amount of cargo. Generally, it will have several wheels and axles. But this is a word that we use only in British English. In American English, what do we say? A truck. Exactly. Good. A truck. Well done. All right. So let's say this next one is something that your friend tells you. How could you respond? So your friend says to you, people still remember the time Jeremiah put salt in his tea instead of sugar. People still remember the time Jeremiah put salt in his tea instead of sugar. How could you respond? A, it's supposed to splash down somewhere in the Pacific. B, he'll never live it down, will he? Or C, she was run down by a lorry while crossing the road. What could we say there? A, it's supposed to splash down somewhere in the Pacific. B, he'll never live it down, will he? C, she was run down by a lorry while crossing the road. Excellent. So I see we've got lots and lots and lots and lots of correct answers coming in from Rafael, Lucia, David, Diana, Irene from Madrid, Sergi, Enrique, Martina. Also, we have Gulia, Elena, Lurian, Luca, Victoria, Gracia, Alex, hello Sarah, Giuseppe, a name I cannot pronounce, but it is similar to Angie, also writing in, and Lucia, Jefferson, and Robert also contributing on YouTube. Thanks so much for your participation, everyone. The correct answer is B. He'll never live it down, will he? He'll never live it down. So let's talk about this verb. How do you say this verb in your language? To live something down is, for example, when you make a mistake. Let's use the case of Jeremiah. Jeremiah put salt in his tea instead of sugar. And his friends are always reminding him of that. So they say he'll never live it down. To live something down is when your reputation eventually replaces this. Yeah? Is there a way that you can say this in your language, to live down? So I'll tell you a situation that happened to me. When I was learning Spanish, I lived in Barcelona, and I realize now I should have been thinking of learning Catalan there. But I was very tired one day, and something came out of my mouth that was very stupid. And I was with some friends. I wanted to buy a muffin sin nueces, without nuts. So I asked the waitress, I said, el muffin es deshuesado? And I asked her if it is deshuesado and not sin nueces. I can't believe it. And I made such a stupid fool of myself making this mistake. My friends never let me forget about this. They'll never let me live it down. The time that I asked if the muffin was deshuesado, boneless, instead of asking sin nueces. So it was something I'll never be able to leave down. How about you? Have you ever had an experience that your friends don't let you live down? I know for me also, when I was learning Spanish, it was very difficult to pronounce aceite for me. So I said aciete, and my friends still make fun of me for this. I'm never able to live it down. Have you ever had an experience that your friends don't let you live down? Perhaps you cooked a meal that turned out to be terrible. Perhaps you tried to give a bad gift and didn't get away with it. Oksana says, I said to my Chinese teacher that you can kiss me instead of you can ask me. So Oksana, that's definitely an embarrassing moment. Do your classmates still remind you of that moment? Do they not let you live it down? And I see over on YouTube, someone was asking about a synonym of live down. A synonym of live down, I see lots of good ones here, is like, for example, Diana says, olvidar con rin tin tin. Yeah. To live down is like to let someone repair their reputation after doing something stupid. Yeah. So Oksana, for example, was not able to live down this mistake in Chinese class. Yeah, good. Well, guys, excellent. Nice stories. Let's move on to a few more phrasal verb questions, shall we? So let's imagine your friend is having a birthday party and they say, "You're still coming to my birthday party, right?" How could you answer them with a phrasal verb? A, quieten down, please. The lecture will begin soon. B, I don't know. It's been handed down from generation to generation. Or C, don't worry, I won't let you down. Don't worry, I won't let you down. How could we answer our friend? You're still coming to my birthday party, right? Could we say A, quieten down, please. The lecture will begin soon. B, I don't know. It's been handed down from generation to generation. Or C, don't worry, I won't let you down. So we have lots of good answers rolling in. Well done, everyone. The correct answer is C. Don't worry, I won't let you down. So let down is a synonym of disappoint. How do you say I won't let you down in your language? I'm curious to know what our Spanish speakers say. Perhaps we have some Portuguese speakers here as well. How do you say this? I won't let you down in your language. How do you say that? So in English, we could also say, I won't disappoint you. I won't forget about it. But when we say I won't let you down, that means I won't forget my obligation to you as a friend. So Robert is writing, no te decepcionaré. Good. Irene is also writing, and I see we have in Italian some answers, also in many different languages. Excellent. Okay, let's move on to another. Good. Lucia is writing, yeah, as well. Cuenta conmigo, no te fallaré. Excellent job. So if someone says to you, for example, how old is that story? How could you respond? A, quieten down, please. The lecture will begin soon. B, I don't know. It's been handed down from generation to generation. Or C, don't worry, I won't let you down. What would the correct response be? Someone told you a story and you say, how old is that story? Your friend says, A, quieten down. The lecture will begin soon. How old is that story? B, I don't know. It's been handed down from generation to generation. Or C, don't worry, I won't let you down. Lots of good answers coming in. B is the correct answer. I don't know. It's been handed down from generation to generation. So let me ask you, do you have a special object that has been handed down from generation to generation in your family? Perhaps a watch, perhaps a necklace, perhaps some kind of plate or bowl. I learned something very interesting about my family a few days ago, that my mother has a plant that is from my great-grandmother. So it's one plant that has been alive for I don't know how many years. Of course, it's the type of plant that, appears during the season and then dies, doesn't accumulate growing. This is something that's been passed down in our family from generation to generation. In some countries and cultures, it's common to pass down wedding rings. What about in your culture? Do you have anything in your family that's been passed down from generation to generation? Perhaps you have a special object that you love very much that was once your grandfather's or your grandmother's, and it's now yours. So write down in the chat box what it is that you have that's been passed down or handed down from generation to generation. I see that Martina is writing that some earrings have been passed down. Martina, when did those earrings begin? Are they your great-grandmother's, your great-great-grandmother's? And also, Lurianne writes that she's got a ring. Whose ring was it? Wonderful. Also, Dor is writing that his grandpa's coin collection. Very interesting. Does your grandfather have international coins, or are they coins only from your country in his coin collection? Audrey is writing that a pipe was handed down. I suppose a tobacco pipe of some kind of mahogany or other nice wood has been handed down. And I see, for example, Alex inherited land, some land that's been passed down or handed down from generation to generation. Wonderful, wonderful. And okay, Martina, so they were your grandmother's earrings. That's nice. And Ardiel is also writing about recipes. I'm really happy someone wrote about that recipes are handed down from generation to generation. Ardiel, what recipes have been handed down in your family? I'm curious to know. And then Gulia is writing also about a typewriter. Very interesting. Gulia, are you a writer? Do you like typing? I do a lot of writing in my work, creating materials, and I have two different keyboards, one that I prefer for classes and the other I prefer for creative writing. So perhaps you have the same situation with your work, that you like typing short stories or poems. What do you use your typewriter for? Manuela is writing that a stamp collection has been passed down in her family. Very nice. And let's see, what else do we have here? Rings, etc. Wonderful. Okay, well, let's continue with our phrasal verb workshop. Let's do a few more of these questions. And then if you guys have any more questions, I will have some time at the end to answer your specific questions, okay? So we're going to do a preview of tomorrow's lesson, well, Wednesday's lesson. We're going to look at these verbs, but let's just do 3 quick exercises, right? So we'll be looking at the verbs blow down, chop down, kneel down, lie down, pour down, shoot down, sit down, and slow down. So we'll only be working with 3 of these. And remember, if anyone would like a copy of this presentation, feel free to write me a message via my italki profile. You can do that by clicking on my name or by going to www.italki.com/communicate, and you'll be redirected to my profile. All right, so let's imagine someone says, make yourself at home. I'll be with you in a moment. Yeah, what could you say here? What could you say here about make yourself home? So you go to someone's house, you're a bit early, yeah? And they say, make yourself at home. I'll be with you in a moment. What could they possibly say? Make yourself at home. Blow down, chop down, kneel down, lie down, pour down, shoot down, sit down, or slow down. So I see we've got lots of people writing the correct answer here, which is sit down. Well done. Make yourself at home. Sit down. I'll be with you in a moment. Excellent. Let's do another exercise. let's say someone says to you, I feel a bit tired, so I think I'll blank for a while. What are they going to do? Blow down? Chop down? Kneel down? Lie down? Pour down? Shoot down? Sit down? Or slow down? I feel a bit tired, so I think I'll for a while. Good, good. All right, we have lots of correct answers coming in. The correct answer is lie down. I feel a bit tired, so I think I'll lie down for a while. Let's do one more, and then we'll take 5 minutes for questions about phrasal verbs. You had better taken an umbrella. Oops, there's an error here. Let's imagine this in doesn't exist. Yeah. You had better take an umbrella because it's... So remember, be very careful with your tense formation. Yeah. I see Door on YouTube has it correct, but no one else has it correct yet. You had better take an umbrella because it's Gulia. Excellent job. Raphael, try again, my friend. Elena's got it. Ariel has got it. You had better take an umbrella because it's pouring down. It's pouring down. You had better take an umbrella because it's pouring down. Of course, pouring down means when it's raining very, very hard. Yeah, it's pouring down. So yesterday it was raining very hard here in Tennessee. It was pouring down, I can say. Well done, Raphael. Nice correction. So guys, we're just about out of time, but I want to see if anyone has any questions about phrasal verbs. If you have questions about anything, we've got 4 more minutes before we need to close. Let me know in the chat box now. While you're writing your question, let me just give you a quick summary of what we've learned today. Phrasal verbs are verbs that have a verb and a particle. When we're using phrasal verbs, we must look at the verb and particle as one unit. They together have a meaning, right? So we cannot say, for example, I'm going to take out the trash. It doesn't mean tomar afuera. It means sacar, okay? So we also spoke about the object placement. If our object is named, for example, students or Raphael, then we need to place that either between the particle and the verb or after the particle and the verb, okay? If the object is a pronoun, we can only place it between the particle and a verb. So we can say, take him out, not ever take out him. Or pouring down rain would also be, for example, in our last. So while you're also writing your questions, let me tell you that if you haven't studied with me before and you'd like to have a one-on-one lesson, you can go onto my profile and have an offer for your first lesson. So you can take your first lesson at a discounted rate. If you're interested in doing that, anyone who's joined the live stream is eligible. You can just go to my profile, which is italki.com/communicate, and look for class type number 2. And in that class, what we'll do is speak more about your language and your English and your goals. I can answer any questions you have, and we can talk about the different types of classes I offer. In that class, if you book an hour, we can also start on your program so that you can understand that, for example, conversational classes are more than just asking about how you're doing and how your weekend is, but to force you to get more comfortable with complicated topics. If you do say, so I see we have a question here, Sultan. Let's go with Martina first because Martina's written the first question. What is the meaning of chop down? So if a tree dies, you chop that tree down. Yeah, it's to specifically with a tree. And let's see, who is this? We also had another question. I see I've lost a question, but we had another question. Diana Carolina writes, not every phrasal verb allows the possibility to have the syntax verb, something, particle, right? And that is correct. That is correct, Diana. There are exceptions to every rule. So that's something that we would talk about in a one-on-one class because we're just about out of time. So there are verbs that don't follow this rule. There are exceptions. So thank you everyone for joining us today. We're out of time now. If you have remaining questions, join me tomorrow. Same place, same time, www.italki/istayatHome. And it would be a pleasure to have you there. Tomorrow in our class, we're going to be speaking about emailing. We'll compose an email together and see how you're doing there. So it's going to be really important to have your participation tomorrow. If you have further questions about phrasal verbs, then joining us at 3:15 Spanish time on Wednesday when I'll be doing another lesson on phrasal verbs. Lastly, if you'd like to have a copy of the list of verbs we looked at today, or if you'd like to have access to this presentation, go to my italki profile, send me a message, and just ask me for access to the presentation, and I'll send you a link. So everyone, it's been a pleasure joining you here today. I really appreciate you taking the time to be here and have a nice quarantine. Thanks so much for your wonderful participation. It was a pleasure to meet all of you. I hope that you're more confident with your phrasal verbs now and look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's lesson at the same time. Don't forget, a number of italki teachers are going to be giving these classes. So thanks to everyone for joining. Let's also give a big thanks to Jeffrey, who's leading things behind leading things behind the scenes. Jeffrey's had a long day, so I'm sure he's ready to do rest and wind down. So thanks, Jeffrey, for all you do, and I'll look forward to seeing everyone in our next class. Bye for now.